important. As the gates do open up, you can see both teams sort of positioning or moving towards the midfield. I'm kind of curious to see how they decide to split up. What exactly are they going to do? Are they going to leave a rogue behind, try to sap up? Normally what we see in rated battlegrounds is you have a rogue try to just harass the enemy flag carriers as much as you can. And if you can delay them long enough with saps, blind, force out their trinket, not only does that leave them vulnerable later on, but it also allows your flag carrier to just get that much further ahead.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they do decide to open it up. I think one of the great things about 6v6 is that we are going to have to kind of brawl in the middle of the map, and we see the two teams opening on each other, putting crowd control out over onto the healers. High Druid is the target on the side of SX6 right now. They're putting a lot of pressure into him. Meanwhile, damage over onto the rogue, forcing trinket from Rook. Fear coming out onto the Shaman. They're tunneling down High Druid, and with triple DPS of melees, it's going to be so hard for this Druid to do anything outside of bear form.
Yeah, it really will. It's going to be up to WLAD to keep him alive. Both flag carriers are now about to pick up flags. We'll have to see if anyone can draw first blood in the middle of the map. Looks like, once again, SS6, they're going to be trying to tunnel down High Druid, really limiting his healing. But rank 1, the Rogue, he's getting bursted down. Full kidney shot does come out, but I think they will end up stabilizing. And Oz actually peels back. It looks like he wants to try to just slow down Ulrich as much as possible. So this is where you see a little bit of difference in strategies already. SS6, Oz, he's going to be peeling away. We'll have to see what exactly he can get done. Falrick's trying to deny him as long as possible, but it's a really good tactic because Falrick, he hasn't really been able to make any ground at this point.
Yeah, he's actually kind of hiding, right? He's hiding behind that little wall, so to speak. This is the thing I'm kind of curious about. It's like, normally there's nothing that can get away from an Unholy Death Knight, but maybe a Vengeance Demon Hunter can with all their mobility.
Maybe.
We'll have to see. The Chains of Ice obviously is such a powerful tool, 70% slow with no cooldown, but the Demon Hunter has multiple leaps that you can use to get away. They're just trying to slow him up looks right now. I guess the best scenario for SX6 is if they can do okay in the team fight and then they can all group as 6, like their flag carrier makes more progress than Falorix. You can see he's being gripped back, they're just trying to slow him down, and then they have this team fight on their side of the map. But even through that, Falorix is just able to get away, it looks like.
Yeah, the Demon Hunter just has so much mobility, and like you kind of said, this is a weird situation. Gore, he's safe, he's in his base, but that leaves the rest of his team in sort of a 5v6 situation. It looks like Cereves is going to be moving forward. We'll have to see what exactly Gore can get done. Balanced Druid. I don't know if one DPS is really going to be able to take down one of these Vengeance Demon Hunters, but putting some pressure on that Demon Hunter forces a healer to sort of come back and change their attention, change their focus up, and really distracts the offense of SX6. So they're going to have to play a little bit more defense, and because of that, Falrix is going to be able to escape.
Yeah, the only class that looked like he could catch up was maybe this Fury Warrior Magnus, but even the Fury Warrior doesn't have enough mobility to catch up to the Demon Hunter. One of the other things that's obviously very prominent in RBGs is the healer's mana. Often you won't kill the healers because you want to run them out of mana, and Rookery is dropping lower on mana right now than 2 on the other side. We can see Hibernates flying out on both sides. Little Hibernate there over onto Wild, caught sleeping on the job a little bit there. As we see damage over onto Heal. They might actually get the first kill of the 6v6 tournament. They do get the kill over onto the Rogue, so SX6 strike first blood.
Yep, first blood. He stole my line. But yeah, Gore, he's going to be fine. He's sitting back, but like we kind of talked about, that forced rank 1, as well as Oz to sort of come back. Oz, there's a weird little game going on right now where he's trying to chase down Cereves and really limit the harassment he's able to put onto Gore. In the meantime, you can see Magnus. He's going to be moving in, trying to just chop up Falrix the best he can with their offense, but I don't know if they're really going to be able to take him down just yet. There is a decent amount of offense, there's a decent amount of pressure, but it looks like right now, Nerf Voidstone, they're going to be completely fine.
Yeah, I wonder if what's going to be the best strategy here. This is something, of course, we haven't seen 6v6 for many years. These teams have been practicing some war games. We've talked to them a little bit, but the best strategy, whether it's going to be to just wait for these tanks to get more damage stacks, so that they can, because obviously tanks do take more damage in RBGs, or if they're just going to try kills over onto the healers with cross CC. It looks like right now, since both these teams are running melee cleaves, they don't really have much crowd control, so they're just kind of tunneling down the 2 tanks, trying to get as much damage as possible, both dropping a little bit low. I actually think SX6 is starting to get pressure in the fight, but their tank is dying. Gore down to 20% health. He's not getting stabilized right now. It's not looking great for them, honestly.
Falrix in a kidney shot, big burst damage. Magnus trying to take him down. Fearling comes in, and W Lad, he does end up saving the day. Gore still in a lot of trouble, like you said. But both teams are starting to fall behind. 2 members are now down for Nerf Void Zone. Far's going to be in some trouble. And one of the reasons why SX6, they love bringing in Fury Warrior is the amount of self-healing that it has. It's really durable. In a 6v6 situation where you only have 2 healers, that self-healing really adds up and just allows Magnus to continue the fight, keep up the pressure on Falrix. If they can take Magnus down, it's going to really limit the offensive capability of SS6 in this matchup. You know, at least free Falrix up for a little while, but Magnus is just relentless on that Fury Warrior.
It was interesting, right? Because it looked like the offense from the Rogue and the Moonkin almost killed Gore, but then, like you say, they have less sustain, so once they didn't kill him, he dropped about 10%. They were very, very close. They were able to kill off the 2 offensive DPS with Oz in the backlines, and SX6 survived. But now we see Kidney Shot into Falrix, because like you say, the DPS haven't been able to be killed. Bullstorm comes in. I can't believe he's still alive. He's fighting away desperately, but he's also fighting away from his healers. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it out of this one.
Yeah, Magnus can't believe it, and ultimately Magnus will fall. And like I said, he's the #1 sort of damage dealer for the team of SS6. I think Falrix should be able to survive with that kill. Oz could fall, rank 1 could fall. Is really good cleanup from this matchup. Look, you can see Gore, he's positioned just so far away. It was full defense turtle mode coming in from Nerf Voidstone, and I mean, it ended up paying off. Things weren't looking that great. They had to pull everyone back. Falrix should ultimately survive, and now, once he's fully topped off, that is when they need to start getting an offense going, because you can just see Gore is just positioned so far away, nice and safe in his base, and right now, Nerf Voidstone, they're going to have to cross the entire map if they want to start getting any damage rolling.
Yeah, this is one of the really cool things about 6v6 that isn't necessarily as true in Arena, is that the shot calling, like having a good leader who really understands it, is so important, right? Like you saw, Oz was able to get the cleanup, and then they pushed in both Rook and Oz to join their team's offense, and they narrowly missed out on the kill there onto Falrix. Now it's basically the onus on the other team to get aggressive now that they've cleared out the offense from an SX6 and try to get some damage going. But it looks like both the teams are kind of, you know, respecting each other a little bit right now. They're both regrouping. There was a lot of bloodshed going on at the start of this map, but so far both these teams actually seem pretty evenly matched. They're both going, you know, toe for toe in offense, unable to get kills, both coming very, very close, but no one's capped the first flag yet.
Yeah, and remember, there is only 12 minutes left on this map, so this first cap could be potentially the only cap of the entire game, and that could secure the win. So obviously really important, and as the game goes on, healing is, or actually damage increases on the flag carrier, which makes it really hard to keep them alive. They can get bursted down quite easy in just one little stun lock. Falrix cutting away. Cereves actually falls. That was a really nice pickoff for Oz's team there. They can continue to push right now with a man down. Things are definitely looking good for SS6.
Yeah, I think this is one of the things, right? It's like, maybe the reason you bring the melee cleave on a map like this is because at some point, the healers just won't be able to heal through the damage, right? Like, both these Demon Hunters, they have the increased damage taken since they're tanks. Then they also get this stacking debuff, which we all know in RPGs is one of the main reasons for the kill. We see Gore dropping very low, as there's a little bit of offense now over onto him. Life Cocoon coming out from Rook. Both the healers having to expend so much mana. Gore doing an excellent job, though, using that Demon Hunter mobility. Of course, that's why, like you said at the start of the game, Ben, they bring the Mistweaver so that he is probably one of the few classes that can actually keep up. And now that the offense is over onto Falrix with that kidney shot.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage available right now. Falrix is going to be in some trouble. Magnus just popping all of his cooldowns. What is Falrix going to do? Is a lot of required healing here from High Druid, from Vlad. Steel Rogue's going to fall. Oz with a beautiful defense, and that's really the only offense we see from Nerf Voidstone. This is a really awful situation for them to be in. Damage is high. Falrix still getting chopped down. Once Steel Rogue falls, it's going to be an easy opportunity for Oz to push in and help his team potentially take down Falrix. But solo as this Rogue, Steel Rogue will ultimately fall. There goes the entire offensive line. Falrix now getting low. Blind on Hydra. Beautiful cross crowd control. And if they can score here, this is going to be looking really good for SX6. Be up 1-0 in the matchup. And once you're up 1 point, you can play it a little bit different. Oz's team, SX6, they could decide to go for full turtle. We'll have to see if Gore can actually spawn or cap. He does manage to do so. Finally getting that point, putting the first point on the board with just 10 minutes left in this match.
Yeah, oh, honestly, it was like a slight mistake there. I think from Wild, he got feared and didn't manage to get his Trinket Spirit Link off in time. Maybe they could have stabilized it, but as one of the things I can't actually see on this UI is how many stacks these Demon Hunters had. But I'm imagining, since it was 10 minutes into the fight, that they had the full. They must have had like full stacks, at least 10 stacks there. So 100% damage increase. Like it's just, like it was brutal. I honestly couldn't believe they were surviving that long.
Yeah. And that's one of the things when you, like I kind of talked about, when you have Magnus on the Fury War, you have rank 1 moving in. Both those classes are relatively durable. They had the Restoration Druid healing them, and it's difficult to keep a tank alive. I mean, he can kite a little bit, but the Fury War will be able to stay on top of him. And Oz was telling me that they're one of the only teams that really implement and utilize that Fury War in the situation. Gore, once again, he picks up the flag. He's going to be looking across the map. Falrix as well. He's a little bit behind. He's getting chains of ice spam. Oz trying to deny him. This could be a quick cap. If Gore can get away and cross the map, they could end up getting 2 points. See Falrix trying to activate some of that Demon Hunter mobility to escape, but they're just all over him.
Yeah, they need to be really careful enough, Voidstone here, because if they fall a second flag behind, this will almost certainly be over, right? Like, there's no way that they're going to be able to get 2 flags. And Gore is getting dangerously close. We can see rank 1 also going back there. He's going to try seal off anything, of course, with that rogue crowd control. He's now trying to just deny Gore from getting any, or Palo, sorry, from getting there. Gore's making it. I actually think he might get this quick cap. The step comes in, slows from rank 1.
So close.
Denying this Demon Hunter. Both of them are so close, but I feel like Gore might have the upper hand here just because of the crippling poison. Full blind.
Oh, Kidney!
Got the trinket. He's actually going to get it, isn't he?
Yeah,
there you go.
Got it. Yeah.
2 out of
2-3.
That's
That
going to be
beautiful.
surely. That was a really good play, both from Oz and from rank 1.
Yeah, that was really good. And really you can just see there, it's a little bit of a difference in the strategies. Gore just was able to get the flag right away, cross the map really quickly, whereas for Nerf Voidstone, for Falrix, he was just getting spam chains of ice, grip back, rank 1 all over him with crippling poison, and when it really mattered, had the full blind, kidney on the trinket, and that's up 2-3. Now this is a difficult situation for them to be in because they only have 7 minutes left, 8 minutes left, and they have to get 2 caps. And I feel like in this sort of advantageous position that we find SX6 in, they can kind of change their strategy. Like I said, they can end up just turtling a lot more, really trying to deny. They don't really need to focus on a heavy offense. They could just go for the 3-0 if they wanted, but they could also try like a stall-based strategy where they just try to live as long as they can.
Yeah, honestly, I've been really impressed by the synergy of the Vengeance Demon Hunter and the Mistweaver Monk. Firstly, like we talked about that a little bit, like the fact they can chase each other, but also the fact that Oz is being constantly on defense. Basically, Oz, all he has to do is Chains of Ice, the incoming melee, as we see like another smoke bomb play coming out onto Falrix here. This might actually be the kill. Good cross crowd control over onto the healers. That's what we talked about. It is very possible to achieve that, but the Spirit Link does come down, so Falrix will be okay. But like I was saying, like the synergy between having 2 very mobile classes in the healer and the tank, and then having Oz with the Chains of Ice to deny anyone catching those 2, it just seems so smooth. Like their defense has been impeccable. We saw the beautiful play to get that quick cap right now. Getting quick cap, like, you know, it definitely can happen in RPGs, but it's not easy, especially when you're doing it against a Vengeance Demon Hunter that can, you know, hop, skip, and jump all over the map.
Yeah,
so
hop, skip, and jump is putting it lightly.
So
Big
like,
hop.
What does it take to stop a Vengeance Demon Hunter? It turns out the answer is an Oz DK and a rank 1 rogue. So there you go.
Yeah, a rank 1 rogue. That's awesome. But yeah, Gore is once again in a very position here, has the flag. That's a good spot for him to be in. Falrix as well on his side of the map. And now we really get to see what is S6 going to do. Are they going to play defense? Oz and Vo, they're going to be coming back as well as Rook. So there's a 4-man defense right now for S6 in this matchup. And I think they should be able to easily clean up and survive this 3-man assault. As long as they play it patient, they just try to keep them alive. I don't really feel like at this point, with no damage assistance really bonused up onto the tank, that it's going to be really difficult to take Gore down. And I think inevitably this 3-man offense will fall, and that will once again be an opportunity for S6 to try to get aggressive and potentially put some pressure on the Falrix. Yeah,
and it's nice to see them actually playing it out like that too, because obviously, like we said, they could just tuddle this at this point. Like they're 2 out of 3 flags versus 0. 5 minutes left. We saw how durable these Vengeance Demon Hunters can be. Like obviously they could just win the game 2-0, but it's nice to see them still going for that third map cap, should I say? And also, it's worth noting that the 2 out of 3 is actually on the side of Rook and Oz's team. So they're flipped on the scoreboard right now. It's just because we're figuring out the 6v6 for the first time. So don't worry about that, guys. They do have the 2-0 advantage on that side. We see Phalarix dropping dangerously low. The offense from SSS once again is just they just play it's like a dance almost watching them play, you know, like they do the defense, they clean up, they get offensive. Like you say, Magnus just has such good survivability on that offense. They always have some passive pressure, and then when Oz and Rook connect, it's just so dangerous.
Yeah, Magnus by himself won't die. It's really difficult for them to take him down. And this is actually beautiful cross by rank 1. That was nice. He got the full kidney shot on Phalarix, double sheep shot on WB Lad as well as Hydra, and he almost single-handedly took down Phalarix with a beautiful play. That would have been sick. Rank 1 now caught into a Bastion Hydra trying to take him down, but it's just really difficult when Rank 1's healing up. Magnus is healing up, and this just forces both healers to essentially play defense. Magnus on that 3 were really paying dividends and forcing such defensive play, which makes it really easy. Like, if you have a couple healers on defense, you have a couple DPS, like you can see SX6 has right now, eventually those DPS will fall. Seal Rogue getting really low, he does manage to hold on, he's trying to kite away, but if he falls, Rogue goes down, then I really feel like Gore's going to be completely fine.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like that. I really think there's a good chance this is just going to end up being a 2 to 3 game. It looks like SX6, which is a bit of a tongue twister, are playing it kind of defensively. You know, Magnus is staying on the offense, but other than that, they're not really posturing too much of an offensive threat. It is nice, though, that they keep one or two people on offense, because it forces both the healers to stay back on the side of Nerf Voidstone, meaning that Oz can really play cleanup in defense. He's able to, you know, eventually he will kill them. He is an Unholy Death Knight. He has uptime. He will be able to kill his targets. See a few Hibernates still going out from Vo, a little bit of BM there at the end of the game. It's more chaotic in 6v6, so it's harder to track all of those incoming crowd controls for the healers. There is a low mana on both the side of Rookery and Vo. Maybe there's an opening, but I mean, with 2 minutes left, getting 2 flags is like, it's nigh impossible, yes.
Yeah, so SX6 in all likelihood will end up taking game number 1. We'll have to see if they can maybe put 1 point on the board, but I think what that means is now it's going to be up to Nerf Voidstone. They're going to be able to choose the map that they want, assuming SX6 wins this one. And there's only 3 maps left in the pool. It could be Silvershard Mines, Gilneas, or Kotmogu. And I think this is where things get really interesting in rated battlegrounds. Is you can really tailor a specialized composition for one of these maps, which I think is going to be really important. And that might be where sort of the flexibility that SX6 has available is really going to help them.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. I mean, I think for the cleave compositions, I was thinking about it, maybe Kotmogu is actually pretty solid, but then, like you say, there's no reason why SX6 can't also lock in some sort of composition like that. Like, I mean, these guys have so many options. I think I saw a couple of people in the chat even being like, wait, that's Oz on DK? It's like, yep, I mean, literally you can put this guy on any class, he'll play it, and he'll play it to the level required, seemingly. And, I mean, we're 1.5 minutes away here from the first 6v6 game of 2019 of GCD's series. We're doing a few of these tournaments, guys, for both Europe and North America here. And the first winners ever might be this SX6 team here. It's looking very, very likely. 1.5 minutes left on the game. Defense has been good. It looks like they're just going to try to keep a clean sheet here, so to speak. Keep Gore alive. I don't think we've actually seen... Have we seen a single death from Gore? I don't think so, right?
Nope, not so far. So yeah,
very clean.
Yeah, things are looking really good here for SX6. Phalarix could also see who's on him, rank 1. Just trying to solo him down at this point. He's got no healer. Will fall, so... That's basically the final nail in the coffin. SX6 will win game number 1 on Warsong Gulch. And this is a team which I think is probably one of the favorites for the tournament. So, yeah, no shame here for Nerf Voidstone. But they're going to have to really think about what map they want to bring it to in match number 2.
Yeah, I was honestly really impressed because we did at the start of the game, you know, Albasos for our predictions. We were like, okay, SX6, you know, a lot of known players, one of the favorites of the tournament. Got to give this one to them pretty convincingly. But for the first 10 minutes, both these teams kind of went mano v mano. They were both pretty equal in the trades. In the end, it was just like slight positional or tactical advantages. Nice plays from SX6, able to pull through that first cap. Second cap second cap was just a purely excellent play. I think we can all say from Oz and rank 1 being able to shut down Falarix on the flag cap, and yeah, they go into the series now. Best of 3 all these series. They have the first map advantage. If they're able to pull up map 2, they will advance in the series, but there's still a lot of other big teams in this tournament as well, right? Like you've got the big North American RBG players, Ballamos and Datacus, who are up next, and they'll be looking to rival these guys as well.
So, SX6 takes the first game, and something I wanted to bring up.
Big Star Surges, they have the Earth Shocks from Oz, of course, Fury Warriors pump high damage, and then the lockdown from rank 1. This is a really scary composition drafted out here by SX6. We have to see who they choose to open up on. Will it be one of the healers? It looks like it. Falir taking damage in the start of this game. The kidney shot on him. He's getting busted down really hard. We see the Solar Beam over onto Wild, just trying to cross CC these 2 healers. Smoke Bomb, though, traded out, trying to get some damage onto rank 1, punish him for his offense in the start here. This is exactly what we wanted to see then, the brawl, 12 people going at it in the middle.
Yeah, big brawl, and one of the things we have really yet to see in it. Oh, Fallers actually, or fall down. Really nicely done by SX6. They get a beautiful burst kill, forcing out that live cocoon very early on. And now that one of the healers has fallen, WLAD is going to have a really difficult time keeping his team alive. He basically has the job single-handedly to heal everyone up. Meanwhile, you can see SX6 have all 6 members available. WLAD is just falling further and further behind. Falir is actually running back in. They forgot to loot. I think they actually forgot to loot his body, which seems like kind of a rookie mistake, but I guess to get back to his body, WLAD will fall, and once again, you're in the situation where it's 6v5, and ultimately Nerf Voice is going to be falling further and further behind.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where I could just hear Warwick's voice in my head screaming, "Kill them all!" after you get the kill on the first healer. It's just like, they're all dying, they're all rotting. You got the Moonkin AoE, you got the Fury Warrior just smashing anything in his face, and that's going to be essentially a full team wipe here. Now that they do have that kill, of course, on the whole team, it's going to be interesting to see how they do play with the orbs. You can see Rook has picked up 1 orb right now. Are they going to pick up 2 orbs and try go for, you know, the optimum number of points, camp in the middle, get that? Or do they think that could be scary? Because obviously, like you said, Ven, if you pick up 2 orbs and you only have 6 people on your team, that's 2 incredibly vulnerable targets for Hyde on the Rogue especially to be able to pick off. So let's see what they do strategy-wise here. It looks like Rook is heading over to the orange orb, but they're not especially keen to pick it up. Are they going to pick it up? Yes, they do. So they do have both orbs in the middle, which is giving them optimum points at this moment in time.
Yeah, so what is the game plan for them now? Looks like Rook and Gorak with the orbs are going to be sitting in the midfield, and that will give them a little bit of bonus points. And the rest of their team seems to be just causing a distraction. They're just trying to keep the rest of the team at bay. Gorak right now is pushed in. He's trying to get a solo kill on Sreeves, but Rook is there to back him up. Sorry, the opposite. Sreeves is trying to get a solo kill on Garuk, but Rook's there to back up Rook, and it looks like they're going to be completely fine. And even without their healers, both healers having a field, it's still a nice little fight.
That damage on Rook, he just got 1 shot. That's what we're talking about with these orbs, guys. Like, I think Rook, like, that's the reason they pick the Mistweaver to pick up the flag there, is because he has the Transcendence, right? Like, he can just transcend behind the pillar. If he gets attacked from downstairs, he can port upstairs. But he just got 1 shot. Regardless, though, his team's still winning the fight. 2 kills for 1. Rook's just going to be able to respawn. They pick up the orb once again, and, I mean, this is looking... Actually, I think they did manage to get the pick up Nerf Void Stone, but they won't be able to control the center of the map, so they're going to be getting less points, less value on that orb, and obviously that will be an easy kill target for SX6 some point later in the game.
Yep, you can see Sealed, he's actually using the rain from above, which is particularly good, especially if you're running and you can fly up in the air. Not only can you avoid damage, but chaos bolts you shoot out are going to do significant damage. But Sealed, with the 100% bonus damage, should ultimately fall here in another return quite easily for SX6. Sreeves immediately there. This is really good positioning from Nerf Voidstone. Sreeves was able to pick up the orb and now is going to continue to cap some points, but the problem right now is SX6 is just completely dominating in terms of killing blows, and every time they get a kill, they're getting additional points, and it shows on the scoreboard right now. It's 612 to 40, so this is a very one-sided game number 2.
Yeah, this is looking fantastic. At SX6, I think they came in with the composition, they came in with the game plan. They won that first team fight, which is really difficult to come back from on this map, I think. you know, one of the ways you would come back is just by having good positioning, as Nerf Voidstone have tried to, with the whole, you know, like being ready for when a flag drops to pick it up again, having someone in position. But regardless of that, like, you have to be able to win the team fights. That's why I really like 6v6, is that it's this mesh between, you know, the good strategy we saw in game 1 from SX6 able to win, but in game 2 here, I think it's fair to say they just pure outplayed in the team fight. They were able to pick off that win. And I mean, Nerf Voidstone, honestly, I don't think there's been a single point in this game where they've fully recovered and had a proper 6v6 fight. They've just been struggling, wiping. They did get that 1 kill onto Rook, but this has just been incredibly one-sided, like you said.
Yeah, it's one of the things you can do in rated battlegrounds. It's a high-level strategy, basically split wiping people. You take down a healer, you kind of wait. You know, you have the 6v5 advantage, maybe you have the 6v4 advantage, and one of the best things you can do is just wait to get another kill. That way, like you said, they're always in a situation where, unless they completely sit back and regroup, which at that point they're falling further and further behind, you're just always up a man. As soon as somebody spawns, you take down somebody else, now he's rezzing. And it's just a really hard situation to sort of come back from, especially when you're playing a really, really high caliber team such as SX6.
Yep, and SX6 have been looking great the whole time. Like they now have the, you know, I actually find it quite cool that they've been kind of sticking to the strategy of like, hey, we'll just pick up 1 orb. We're not going to get too greedy. We'll make sure that we control the middle, because obviously having your orb in the middle gives more points than if you know, have it on the outside, like Silvershard has right now. He's getting bursted down, he's probably going to get killed. But you still have this damage incrementing buff escalating at the same pace, so it's just much more value for SX6. And they're just miles ahead on points, like really, miles doesn't even begin to describe it. They're wiping the team over and over, this kind of split res. Every time Nerf Voidstone pick up a flag, they take their sweet time to kill him, but they will kill him, and it just ensures that they have this 5v6 or 6v5 advantage throughout the game. And I mean, yeah, it's just a clean game from SX6. I'm really looking forward, assuming they do win this one 2-0. It is a best of 3 rather than the best of 5s we see in Arena, so they will advance if they win this game. And
I think it's pretty safe to assume at this point.
Yeah, it would take quite something, and they're actually going for the double flag as well, just to finish it off at this point.
Yeah, rank 1, he was basically just sitting on that second node point, just waiting. I think he was literally just sitting there, waiting for the orb to drop for 30 seconds, immediately picking it up. And in the middle, with Gorak, they're just going to be securing their point advantage. And ultimately, Gorak might fall here. Huge amounts of burst damage. And that's one of the things about having the orb. And actually, one of the reasons why I like this map so much is chaos is essentially inevitable. Like, at some point, people will... Yeah, I think this is my favorite rated battleground, is someone will eventually die. You pick up the orbs, like, there's no way they could survive. Eventually a 1 or a fire blast or something like that will end up killing them.
I love this map. One thing I must say is whenever I pug it, I always have these teams, you know, where we run in, we wipe the enemy over and over and over, but we're so bad at picking up the flags that we end up losing anyways. So it's like, it's one of those things where, like, there is a mix between, you know, the team fighting, like being able to win those team fights, obviously important, but also the strategy of, you know, being able to know when I should pick up the orb, when I shouldn't pick up the orb, positioning, pick up future orbs, like all these little nuances, which are both true in 6v6 and 10v10, it holds true. So it's been excellent to see from SX6. I love a bit of chaos. I love the idea that, you know, you can be the hero, you could charge forward into the middle of the map, press, you know, Vendetta or whatever it is, just one-shot the flag carrier. It's always a bit of fun.
Oh, it's probably one of the most fun things.
You can get your Swifty one-shot video.
Yeah, like you talked about, it's always, it's good. It's good to be the guy that just blames his teammates for not picking up the orbs, but that is not going to be the case for SX6. That was such a clean game for them.
Yep.
Super clean. And I wrote a few notes down while watching that game, and I mean the number.
Raw, it's seen such a long time since I've seen that ability. My poor little Resto Druid doesn't have that one anymore, but the Guardian Druid does have it, so you can speed up his team, little advantage at the start. It's really going to come down to how easily he can get across the map. One thing to note is the Dean DH actually is a Demon Hunter, right? So he can see through stealth with that Spectral Sight. So that could be potentially something. We see the Rogue super close. He actually gets him out, lines him early, and this is an incredibly good start for Datacus.
Yeah, that is definitely It's sad time for Chrono. See Milkman, he's already going to be positioning, and that's the advantage of the Demon Hunter.
Oh, he re-stealth.
He has so much mobility. Chrono does manage to get the re-stealth, gets Vortex back, and now caught into a kidney shot. Things are not looking good, and this could potentially be a quick cap for Team Datacus.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether they can achieve it. Even the Hibernates coming in from Datacus, catching Chrono off guard now into the Cyclones. Excellent crowd control. I just think this was greed from Chrono, I'll be completely honest. Like, he wasn't in stealth at the start. He showed them exactly where he was going. And then a team this good with, 6 players that can AoE, a Spectral Sight, all of these advantages. It's going to be so hard for Chrono to cross the map now. He doesn't have the mobility of a Vengeance Demon Hunter. And meanwhile, Milkman, the #1 player in North America RPGs right now, the #1 rated, and I think also number 10 rated or something on his ult class. This guy is looking across the map. He's already halfway.
He's having
looking
fun.
Good for him. Yeah.
Yeah, look at him, just a nice smooth walk. Meanwhile, for Chrono, it's just miserable. Into kidney shot, into Cyclones, getting hibernated, gets stunned up once again. Dominators, Alita, they're really trying to keep him alive. But Milk Gang, he could just potentially walk up the tunnel, slam dunk, first 2 minutes of the game, and that would be sort of disastrous for Unrivaled Titans.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to get there, are they? Milk Gang's just going to cap instantly. So it's going to be first cap insanely fast from Datacus. So we barely have 2 minutes on the game time event and already 1 up. That's very detrimental to the enemy team.
It's really not a surprise to anyone who plays rated Battleground. Vengeance Demon Hunters are kings, just period.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have the mobility, you can get out of sticky situations quite easily, cross the map. Meanwhile, for Chrono, he's just a waddling bear, snared up, taken down, just not doing anything, going straight back to the graveyard. And Team Datacus really showing like what the meta is on this map, as well as SX6. Like, these cleave setups just seem to be so powerful with that high mobility.
Yeah, this is incredible to watch. Milk's actually already across the map again. Bear in mind, he capped at 1758. He already has the flag back 30 seconds later. So incredibly fast crossing of the map there from Milk. Nice place from Datacus. And I actually heard that Vengeance Demon Hunters are so prominent on this Warsong Gulch map that some of the top teams were talking about gentlemen's agreements where both of them just don't play it just to change the meta in the games.
Yeah, these teams aren't going to be doing that. There's going to be no gentleman's agreement, love and war. These guys definitely want to be securing this. Milk Gang, I thought it was kind of funny. He was throwing his glaives on Chrono, keeping him in combat, not letting him cross the map. Once again, the entire team of Datacus all over Chrono, trying to prevent him from really picking up the flag. Meanwhile, Milkman, he's going to be trying to cross the map. But if they get this pick on Venoms, it could be big. Now, this is good. This is finally a good situation for Unrivaled Titans in this matchup for the first time. It is a 5 versus 6. So things are actually looking decently well. But if Dominators gets taken down, I think he's the one with the flag right now. He actually picked it up. So they're just going to be focusing on this Mistweaver Monk as he tries to get away, but he's just so much more vulnerable than any of the tanks would be. It's going to be really important that Unrivaled Titans can click that flag as fast as possible.
Yeah, legend has it to this day, Chrono is still in crowd control trying to get the flag. Meanwhile, Dono is taking a lot of damage. We see the life cocoon coming in from him, but obviously not an ideal situation to bring a tank to a raided battleground and then have your healer have to pick up the flag because he is the only one that was out of crowd control able to actually get there. Like you said though, Ben, there is the opportunity potentially for the quick click. Who's going to click it? It looks like it was clicked by Datacus' team. We'll have to see who we can get the MVP title to, since obviously we can't see the chat log, who actually picked it up. But someone on their team had the fastest clicking fingers, and Milk once again looking like he's just going to hop, skip, and jump to the end of the map. This will be 2 caps within 5 minutes here. Complete domination at the start of Warsong Gulch.
Yeah, complete domination. And solo Monk Knight on that Demon Hunter on the Death Knight right now. You can see just how powerful Chains of Ice is. One of the best snares in the entire game, and he can really abuse and bully some of the teammates, such as Twisted Spaz, such as Neffy, on the Shadow Priest, on the Destruction Warlock. It's just slow walking to try to shut down Milkman on this map, try to take her down.
I'm really looking forward to, so assuming, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here, assuming Datacus does take the series, they will actually then play against OX6. That's the upper bracket game that would happen next. And these two teams have brought such similar comps to Warsong Gulch that'll definitely be a game to stick around for later, guys. We will be playing the first 8 series, or well, 7 series, since we did have the bye, or 6 series, however many of it, one team wasn't able to hit the 10. So we will see that series later today. That's going to be an exciting one to watch. But right now, Milk, he's just doing his due diligence, you know, like he's not just the tank, he's also denying Chrono, making sure he kills the enemy tank, a bit of tank envy there, able to land that kill, not even picking up the flag himself in this situation. I mean, they're just styling on them at this point.
Yeah, this is kind of a slaughter. Now it's going to be up to Unrivaled Titans. Let's play a game here, Adrian. If these are the maps that we see, or these are the compositions that we see, where do we think Unrivaled Titans is really going to take it?
Yeah, I'm not actually 100% sure. Did the team surrender? It looks like, oh, they got the third flag. Okay. I can't see on the top of my screen.
Yeah, Elb.
Okay.
So, like I said from the beginning, I am Team Datacus all the way.
Ability of all those stealthers, you can really keep the enemy team guessing where you're going to be hitting, but it doesn't look like it's going to be much of a surprise, as basically all 10 fighters on this map, 5 for each team, are just going to be charging towards Waterworks.
Yeah, actually, look at Milkman though. Milkman's sneaking up. He capped the first base. Now he's going over to Lighthouse, looking for maybe a little ninja cap. So they're going for the third, maybe. And it's interesting to see that Milkman is the person they've opted for potentially what would be this 1v1. There's no rogue on the enemy team, so there's a good chance he might be able to get this one. Meanwhile, there is this 5v5 team fight.
It's not even. Solomander's actually, he's going to be peeling off this. Yeah. So 2 team members are going to be looking for a ninja here, and that really is that stealth coming into action. Twisted Spaz is going to have a little bit of a 2v1 situation here. What are you going to be able? I think for Milkman and Salamander, it's not even going to be crowd control. It should just be push in, do as much damage, but they prove me wrong. They're going for the sap play. We'll have to see if they can get that cap. If they get that, they're going to be so far ahead.
Yeah, and it looks like they did manage to get that cap. I'm not sure why the Succubus didn't stop Solomander there. There was the sap on Twisted Spaz. Didn't actually use his trinket, didn't use his... Oh! I think... did Milkman Shadowy Jewel him so he didn't see the Druid? I think that might have been what happened, because I saw the Shadowy Jewel over the sap. I just think that's a huge outplay from Milkman, and the Warlock has left the game! Twisted Spaz, I'm pretty sure he just AFK'd out of this one following that. That is absolutely insane from Milkman. Gets the sap, gets the Shadowy Jewel, so he doesn't see the Druid Solomander capping his base in front of his very eyes. And Twisted Spaz, I think he's gone. I can't tap onto him. Oh no, he is back.
He didn't AFK out.
That would have been the most amazing moment ever. But he is back. He's baseless now, and his team they've got to find some footing in this game.
Yeah, we have a little bit of repositioning going on. Venoms has taken a defensive role at Lighthouse for a team. Meanwhile, we have a 3v2 situation happening at Mines. Milkman, Salamander, and Datacus. This is a really advantageous fight for them against Twisted and Dominator. I feel like there's basically no way they're going to be able to reclaim Mine at this point. And then we have sort of a 4v3 situation at Waterworks. And it's just going to be up to Team Datacus to just survive as long as they can. We need to see Korlik, as well as Dean, just live. Just prevent them from getting Waterworks. They have a 2-0 lead right now. And every second they're gathering points, you can see that the other team isn't. And this is just looking really, really good for Datacus.
Yeah, dude, I'm so happy we're doing RBG tournaments. It's so fun to see these outplays. First in, in map 1 of the first series, we saw that quick cap. We saw a second one in this series as well. Now we see that beautiful outplay from Milkman as well. It's really cool to see the little nuances that these players do make. Like, it's not all about the team fight winning. Obviously, that's a big part of it. But it's also these kind of little strategies and niches that the teams bring to each game. It's going to be fantastic to see the second round of this tournament when, these real top Titan teams in the RBG bracket for North America do collide later today. So that's going to be something fantastic. Meanwhile, as you said, the double base cap already for Datacus's team. The third, the Waterworks coming in right now. Honestly, it's just so one-sided. For Unrivaled Titans, I would say the only Waterworks they own are the kind of tiers after they're going to get knocked down to the lower bracket here, most likely. They actually are able to cap Mine, though. So they do have one base, potentially, unless that's a UI bug.
No, they got water. They got waterworks.
They did get the water. Okay.
Yeah, they did manage to get waterworks. It's not just gonna be.
It's not just the ones I was saying. Yeah. All right.
Savage, dude. But still, not the best situation to be in. They did cap the base, but they haven't turned it over yet, so still not collecting any points. Milkman once again, he's gonna be moving in. But with Twisted Spage, Chrono, and Neffy there, they have a 3-man defense. I mean, they're going to
respect him.
Yeah, the thing is, they'll hold on to Waterworks, but they just have so much committed to their defense right now. Milkman is basically there in a 1v3 situation, which means there's 3 members right now of Unrivaled Titans trying to collect a second node and 5 defenders for the team of Datacus. So that's really not favorable. I think we have to see Unrivaled Titans sort of make some sort of risky plays here, because if they don't, it's going to be an easy 2-base defend for Datacus.
Yeah, and I really feel like the rogues bring such a big advantage on these maps, right? Like it's going to be really difficult for them to get a flag cap off of Datacus's team right now, because the Datacus can perfectly track where all these members are. The only person who even has stealth is Chrono, the Restodrid, and he's not going to be especially threatening, even with that Feral Affinity. You can see they're going for a little ninja cap hit onto Deanlock. Chrono was able to push in, and they do have the 2v1 temporarily, but because they don't have a rogue to kind of immediately go for that cap, you know, with the Smoke Bomb, the Shadowy Jewel, the Sap, the Blind, they don't have the tools to get it so quickly. And now Milkman has managed to get the ninja, and truly 3 bases in the side of Datacus. It's so difficult. I honestly do feel a bit for Unrivaled Titans. I just think the composition, in addition to the playmaking, nothing is in their favor.
Yeah, they're just outclassed, plain and simple. Like, unfortunately for them, this team Datacus are really showing where they are also one of the favorites in this tournament. It's just pure outplay, and at this point, it's just so far behind. If that 3rd base turns over, if Waterworks turns over for Team Datacus, the points are just going to be rolling in. They're going to be getting interest, double dipping, and this game will be over before you know it. And that is ultimately going to happen. You can see the points just skyrocketing 30 after 30. I think that will be the final nail in the coffin. And Datacus' team takes the series 2-0.
Yeah, we've seen 2 very one-sided series so far. It's been honestly amazing to see these 2 top teams like kind of styling over their opponents. Can't wait to see some of these teams when they go up against each other in the upper bracket.
Well, there you have it. 1,500 out of 1,500. Team Datacus. I mean, that was such an impressive win by them. And I knew it all along, as I said at the beginning. I did. But, I mean, apart from their dominating win, I do want to point out again, Milkman is on yet another class, and this is a guy that we've seen in the AWC just play Disc Priest, purely.
Become sort of like an interrupt bot, and the rest of your team can free cast. Or, sorry, like an interrupt soaker, and the rest of your team can free cast. Totem. Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think it's quite as valuable in 6v6 as it is in 10v10. I feel like in 6v6, managing a Fire Mage is like dealing with, you know, them spamming out Greater Power Blast is significantly easier. Still going to bring decent burst, whereas for Doc on the Arcane Mage, he can throw out the spell steals, which I think are really, really valuable in team fights, as well as has some of the most mobility in the game, especially if he is running that Chrono Shift talent for his Arcane Barrage.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how both of these teams do play it out. It's nice. Ballamos already has made it across the map in stealth. You can see he's mounted up now. He knows that he's safely through. Where's the rogue? It looks like he's just part of the team fight right at the start of this one. So, hello, I'm Nice. Nice to meet you, sir. It looks like he is a beautiful little Pandarian, and he is sitting in the middle of the map, shutting down Greater Powers is his job, as opposed to stopping Datacus, or stopping Ballamos, sorry, meaning that Ballamos will be able to cross the map, get that flag very early on. Crazy Eyes, meanwhile, has also been able to pick up the flag, both of them in kitty cat form, traveling across the map. And I mean, I think once the Guardian Druids have got the flag, there's probably not too much of a disadvantage to them versus the Vengeance Demon Hunter. Like, you know, they have a lot of annoying CC, you can see Sorenting Roar. They have, I believe, like some stuns, Wild Charge, like all these little abilities they can still use. And they're going to be quite tanky. So both these tanks, you know, assuming they can connect with their healers, maybe their Paladin needs to taxi over, get some heals and Crazy Eyes right now. They should be able to stay pretty stable, and we'll see an interesting fight, similar to what we saw in the first series.
Yeah, a little bit of a skirmish in midfield. Ballamos trying to escape. Hello, I'm Nice is on top of him, and Rogue is really powerful. And that's one of the things Team Ballamos doesn't really have going for them, is I feel like losing the Rogue utility with Sap, with consistent kidney shots, is a serious disadvantage. So At this point, actually, it's sort of a 2v2 battle. Ballamos trying to escape from Helm on Nice, as well as Doc. Doc trying to chase him down on the Arcane Mage, but looks like Ballamos will manage to escape. In the midfield, we have Varen spamming out Greater Power Blast. Does manage to find one. If he can find a second, Crazy Eyes could be in a lot of trouble. But finally, a little bit of backup by Posty shuts that down. And that's just going to be such an important factor in this team fight, is really limiting those Greater Power Blasts from that Fire Mage, because the consistent damage of the Fire Mage really isn't there unless you're getting out these Greater Power Blasts, and then it is really strong.
Yeah, Greater Power Blast is probably so good against Guardian Druid because they have so much health. The Greater Power just do an insane amount. And we see Crazy Eyes getting bursted through in this team fight. There is that 2v2 going on the other side of the map. Loxatar Ballamos against the Arcane Mage Rogue from the other team. So that's the 2v2, but that means there's 4v4 here. So far, they've already forced out that Void Shift, the 6-minute cooldown life swap from Dark Pen, and it's really surprising to me how many cooldowns they're forcing out on Crazy Eyes. He's in cat form right now. I think he should just be sitting in bear form, mitigating as much of that damage as he can, because I mean right now, to be honest, like I don't think the tanks should be dying. Their stacks haven't had enough time to build up. Ballamos and Loxatar are doing a fantastic job of surviving, but Crazy Eyes, he's been low health for a very long time here.
Yeah, Dark Pen is doing a good job on the Shadow Priest, but he's already traded up.
Yeah.
And Crazy Eyes will fall. Big burst damage coming in from Team Ballamos, and that's an easy first cap for them. But yeah, the Shadow Priest, the problem, I mean, you do have the Void Shift, which is a big sort of reset on the health pool, but they just couldn't take down any of the DPS. Like Hamsham, Seth Curry, Varen, and Burn, their offense was really strong. There was no pressure on them, and eventually, when you have 3 DPS just attacking a tank who's taking bonus damage and you're not really being pressured down, you will take them down. It's going to happen basically no matter what.
Yeah, and I actually thought that maybe the 2v2 and 4v4, I was even going to go as far as say advantages Dark Pen's team. Like it looked like the Arcane Mage Rogue had good crowd control over onto Loxatar. They were getting pressure on Ballamos, and they had the uptime because Arcane, of course, has a lot of mobility. The Rogue has the slows. It looked like it was a well-drafted composition, and as you called out, the fact that there's no Rogue on Ballamos' team was actually going to come back to bite them. But they just had so much damage in that 4v4, able to kill through every single cooldown. Again, it might just be a case of just outclassing the opponent. I'm not necessarily sure that their composition has an advantage. We'll have to see how this game continues to play out. But once again, Ballamos has the flag right now. Dark Pen's team hasn't even managed to pick it up yet, and he's crossing the map. It's not like Guardian Druid mobility is bad either. He's shifting all the slows. He's wild charging on cooldown. He could just get a fast cap here potentially, although Crazy Eyes has managed to pick up the flag now as Ballamos is approaching. His team needs to reconnect to him.
Yeah, the Guardian Druid looks a lot different than we saw in the second series of the day. Ballamos and Crazy Eyes are playing it. Like, they're actually implementing a lot of that Guardian Druid ability, crossing the map quite quickly. Ballamos' ability to kite has been really strong in this match. Both Druids do have the flags right now. Ballamos very safe. Loxatar is going to be moving back to heal him up, keep him alive. And we have a big team fight in the middle of the map. Posty has to trinket out, so that's an opportunity to either crowd control him or continue this burst damage. If they can take down Posty, the Restoration Shaman, that's going to be huge. But it looks like Burn DH, they just want to get on top of Crazy Eyes, slow his chances of really crossing the map and getting into a safe situation. If they can keep him in midfield and Seth Curry can connect, that Windwalker Monk will shred through. I think he's actually playing the Tiger Eye Brew as well, so with that armor penetration, the Windwalker Monk does huge damage to the Guardian Druid. Yeah,
I mean we've seen it quite a lot here. I actually really like watching these Guardian Druids. Like, they're using the terrain really well because the terrain is so bumpy or uneven. They can get really good distance on their wild charge by going from high ground to low ground, and that's one of the things that's helping them kite so much. But I'm starting to understand more and more why Ballamos brought the Fire Mage in this game, because it does seem like those Greater Pyroblasts have large value on the tanks, because the tanks have such high health pools. They're able to get big burst damage onto Crazy Eyes, and they're not doing a great job of shutting it down. We see Pack Spirit, who has been on the offense the entire time, dropping low. They're starting to target him, but that's another advantage of the Resto Shaman, right? Like, it's in the name. It literally does what it says on the tin. Sits in Ghost Wolf with the Pack Spirit, able to heal himself up through most of the damage. Spirit Link was forced out there, but they have a lot of pressure. Now we see those Greater Pyroblasts coming in. Crazy Eyes dropping low, cross CC over onto Posty. No Dispel coming in from that Guardian since he wants to be nothing but a bear right now. Combustion coming out. huge damage, double DB onto the healers. Crazy Eyes has been in trouble for quite a long time. He hasn't even made it back to his base yet, Ben.
No, he hasn't. And there's a difference between the first team fight and this one is we now have the Rogue, Hello, I'm Nice, trying to help out his team, but isn't seeming to do much. I mean, they have a little bit more pressure, but you can see things are sort of falling apart here for the team of making it happen. Finally able to stabilize just a little bit, and maybe that Rogue, that extra DPS coming back, will enable them to get the wipe. And if they can wipe Team Ballamos and they push in, they could potentially take Ballamos down. Right now, the only offense we really see is Doc on that Arcane Mage trying to solo Ballamos, but I feel like there's actually no chance. The consistent damage of that Arcane Mage just isn't going to be high enough. He's basically just trying to be as annoying as possible and force a healer back, which isn't the worst situation because there is a 2v1 situation, which is a good trade. And that means in midfield, it's 4 versus 5. But still, it seems like Team Ballamos might be able to actually take the tank down. It's really close. If they take him down, it will be at a numbers disadvantage, and I would be really impressed.
Yeah, the offense is starting to dwindle a little bit on Team Ballamos, but they're so close. Like Crazy Eyes is never high on health, is he? No, he's very low,
Greater.
Down to 20%. The Greater Pyrobusts are flying. You can
3,
see them, those little meatballs.
4.
Ding, ding, ding. Crazy Eyes. Is
he gonna get 5? He got 4 Greater Pyros.
They're still flying in, right? Like, I mean, surely he's gonna die. The entire offense is dead, though. Burn DH dies, Seth Curry dies, and somehow, some way, Crazy Eyes. I mean, I thought he was loopy for tanking all those Greater Pyros, but he seems to have survived it.
He must have had a lot of damage reduction.
Yeah,
at that point.
Exactly. There was like a meteor that hit him when he was like, what, 20% health, and he somehow survived it. So, I mean, good job by them. Like, they're making it happen, but now they need to get on offense and actually get some damage on Ballamos, which they are starting to do here, then.
Yeah, Doc right now, is he just... I think it's just him. Basically a one-man army moving in, trying to... Ballamos, Loxatar is trying to keep him alive. 2v1. But on that Arcane Mage, you can spam out the spell steal, you can spam out damage. It's really difficult for you to die. You can keep yourself alive. But now finally Posty is going to be moving in. And off the back of that team wipe, this could be an opportunity for making it happen, to make something happen in this matchup and try to put their first point on the board.
Yeah, they caught Ballamos out of form there. He had to trinket out of the Hammer of Justice. They have a lot of offense here on Ballamos. I honestly think they're going to land the kill. Good cross CC onto the healers. A full counter spell landed onto Loxatar. I've been very impressed by Doc so far in this game. He's been, putting out consistent pressure on this Arcane Mage. I'm sure both yourself, Elliot, and Zuko would be very proud of his gameplay so far in this one. And I mean, somehow, though, Ballamos is still alive. I think Spirit Link should be coming back up for Pack Spirit. He used in the last fight, but it doesn't look like it. They actually do get the kill, and Crazy Eyes, who narrowly survived earlier in the fight, now if he can keep alive here, they might be able to get this, but they're looking for the cross kill.
Yeah, they do manage to take him down, and I think they do. Looks like Posty is actually going to pick it up. So this is a weird situation to be in. You have 2 non-tanks. Actually, just Posty has the flag. I think that's smart. Ballamos' team, they're trying to reset the stacks on the flag. When you have so many stacks on the flag, the kill can be a little bit random. You can just get taken down at any time. So essentially what you want to do is drop the flag, force basically a complete reset, and that's a good situation to be in when you're up 1-0. Whereas if you both have the flag and stacks are high, I think really anything could happen.
Yeah, that was super close. I mean, yeah, obviously the reset is probably the best case scenario for Ballamos' team there. Obviously, they're the team that's 1-0 up. It's reversed on the scoreboard right now, but I mean, I would say they got away with that one a little bit there then, because their flag carrier died first. Like, Ballamos was taken down after the tight survival on making it happen. Crazy Eyes was able to survive. They did get the cross kill, incredibly close though. If Crazy Eyes had been a bit closer to his base, if he'd maybe anticipated that kill on Ballamos, there would have potentially been the opportunity for them to tie up this one. And of course, the team that captures the flag more recently in a tie situation does end up winning the Battleground. So that would have been a 1-1 in advantage of making it happen here on map 1 on Warsong Gulch. But because the two teams have survived it, they have got that reset, the stacks are reset. 8 minutes is still plenty of time to make it happen. If Crazy Eyes can cross the map with one more flag, if they can set up another kill onto Ballamos once again, I could definitely see them taking this one. This is probably the closest Warsong Gulch we've seen so far today.
Oh, definitely. Ballamos right now, he does have the flag. He's trying to cross the map. Crazy Eyes in desperation running up the Alliance tunnel right now, trying to get a flag of his own, but this is a bit of a split res here. Posty finally resing up. Second healer is now available for making it happen. This team fight, but very nasty, just getting off those greater power blasts. They can take down Hello, I'm Nice. This is another good situation. Just causing split reses on a map like this, always being in the situation where you're up 6 members against 5 is just so advantageous. Crazy Eyes picks up the flag. We'll have to see if he can maneuver his way out of the Alliance base, but Ballamos actually...
Yeah, he's already there.
I think he's going to be looking to crowd control him. This is a really good situation. If Ballamos can find crowd control on the Crazy Eyes, does manage to find the Hibernate, and all... Dude, if everyone can sort of convene on Crazy Eyes right now, they could easily take him down. Seth Curry popping Serenity, leg sweep, basically every offensive cooldown available. Dark Pen trying to help him out. I think he has the Void Shift, but not really in a good position to really get it off.
Yeah, that was a big mistake from Crazy Eyes there. He shifted from cat form to the travel form on the Hibernate, but of course, any of those forms will catch you sleeping. Datacus all over him. Also, Ballamos. I keep getting those two confused since they're both playing Druid, which is definitely not a good thing because they will likely meet later in this tournament, assuming Ballamos' team is able to win this one. Somehow, some way, though, I'm actually starting to see these Guardian Druids as like the kind of tier 2 tank here on Warsong Gulch because they do have very good survivability of their own. Like the Vengeance Demon Hunters, obviously they would have just kited away in that situation, but the Guardian Druid does also have good mobility. He also just seems to have good inherent tankiness, able to survive through that without even trading out his trinket. You know, that was Serenity, Fist of Fury, all of the damage from Seth Curry. He was in travel form and he barely dropped to about 80% there. So this Guardian Druid, obviously without the stacks, is still quite tanky. They're now going to get some kills. Burn DH is looking like he might fall here.
Ooh,
barely staying alive.
Oh, we got there in the nick of time. Burn DH survives on like 5% health. Hamsham reconvenes, and now there's a solid offense available for Team Ballamos. You have Seth Curry, you have Burn, you have Hamsham. They're going to be looking to get really aggressive. And now Varen as well. Split that they want. They want 2 on defense, the 2 Druids, the Guardian Druid, the Restoration Druid, and then you have your offense of 4. Right? A little bit of a strategy change. Once again, we're going to be seeing Hello, I'm Nice come back, try to wipe, and that's when they can push in and try to take Ballamos down while you have sort of the Arcane Mage of Doc trying to be as annoying as possible.
Yep, and that's what we have been seeing time and time again. Now they're swapping their damage over onto Pack Spirit. Hamsham dropping low. Not sure he has the Spirit Link available. If they do get the kill onto the Resto Shaman, they'll wipe up this 4-man offense very, very quickly. Full silence from Dark Pet. The Shaman doing an excellent job. I can't quite see the fight. I can't get into the room, but he's so low. Spirit Link comes out. That should be enough to keep them offensive for now. Crazy Eyes, they actually forced out his trinket there, so they do have an opening, but I think the Void Shift should be back for Dark Pens. They do have that line of defense at least.
Yep, and Hamsham now into a full kidney shot. He's not in Ghost Wolf. A hammer. Hamsham falls. That's going to really cripple the offense of Ballamos even right now. You can see Burn DH, Seth Curry, and Baron probably likely fall very shortly. Still, Doc trying to harass Ballamos and Loxatar as much as possible in this match. And without a healer, you just really can't live very long against the Shadow Priest and an Assassination Rogue. Definitely going to take a toll. I was going to say, one of the things I do like about the Restoration Shaman in a matchup like this is you're just really durable. You can keep yourself alive in Ghost Wolf, but they did a really good job dispelling the Ghost Wolf, getting the kidney shots, and that's what ultimately led to that kill onto Hamsham.
Yeah, the Shadow Priest is actually really effective for that. The spam purge from Shadow Priest will definitely help them to kill off the Resto Shaman. I'm kind of disappointed by Ballamos' team here because I feel like this is a repeat of what happened on the second flag where they sent 4 members into offense. They had the 4v5 there because Hello, I'm Nice actually stayed back. It was only Doc on offense. They get wiped, and now they expose themselves to the situation where making it happen can basically go offensive with no negative recoil. There's no opportunity cost for them to stay in defense now because they have already achieved that full wipe on Ballamos' team. And this could potentially be really dangerous. If they're able to get a good offense here, Ballamos has moved over to the graveyard, so that is the one sort of adaptation. He's reconvening with his team quite quickly. But the stacks are high. We're at 3 minutes left. This is the opportunity for, you know, making it happen to go for the win. If they're able to take down Ballamos here in this situation, you see they're throwing people at offense. Hello, I'm Nice is already there. Doc's already there. Pack Spirit gets caught up in a counterspell. They can get the kill on Ballamos here. They will probably win the game with that 1-1 tie, the latest cap advantage. Ballamos has done a good job, though, like I said. He's reconvened with his team. Looks like they have a solid defense right now. If they can kill off Doc, he's already used his ice block. Looks like they should be able to then I think they're going to be able to stabilize. They just need to tell this out for 2 minutes, and it's looking good for them so far.
Yeah, not the greatest situation to be in. Dark Pen getting there. I think he actually traded out his Void Shift to keep Hello I'm Nice alive, but they're kind of just staggering in. Once Doc fell, Dark Pen coming in, really not going to be able to get too much done. And I don't know, Ballamos down a kidney shot. Maybe they could take him down. They're still posted. There's a deep 3-man offense here coming in from making it happen. Like you said, if they can take down Ballamos, they will have the advantage, even though it will be tied 1-1. The latest cap does end up winning. So I feel like at this point, Team Ballamos, they need to wipe this offense. It's really important.
Yeah, and the Fire Mage is actually really annoying to deal with for Team Making It Happen, because the Rogue, Hello I'm Nice, would love to be, you know, sitting on the healers, disrupting the healers, or sitting on Ballamos, just getting his high damage, keeping Mortal Strike up with his Wound Poison. But he just can't. Like, he can't leave the Fire Mage alone. If the Fire Mage gets two greater powers off even, it's probably enough with, you know, double blink combo to get the kill. They are setting up some crowd control though. They're pushing in. Ballamos is just, he's backing off a little bit here, moving away back to the graveyard. Locks Tatar and Pack Spirit. His 2 Knights in shining armor are protecting him. Doc, though, doing a lot of damage. There's 1.5 minutes left on the game. Ballamos with a lot of stacks. Meanwhile, the Crazy Eyes in the backline is getting killed by Seth Curry. This really could still go either way.
Yeah, if Hello I'm Nice falls, that's going to be a huge move for Team Ballamos. Doc gets punted away. Nicely done. They're actually implementing the Kill Terras Human, which is really cool. They can actually use that knockback on this map, end up getting it. The Void, or sorry, the Life Grip on Hello I'm Nice will bring him back into the fight, but he's just so low on health and ultimately does get taken down. Seth Curry on offense falls as well, but not a bad situation to be in with 1 minute left. Ballamos got to be feeling relatively safe at this point. Does kite away with both Hamsham and Loxatar, and they're just going to be running, trying to create space. Doc trying to chase him down, but you have Burn DH, you have Varen playing a solid defense on those DPS, and that is really going to free up and keep Team Ballamos alive.
Yeah, I think this is probably GG here. You know, you've got Doc dead, Hello I'm Nice dead, now Dark Pen. 40 seconds left on the timer. Looks like Ballamos has weathered the storm. It did look a little bit scary for a second there, you know. There was the first fight where Ballamos did actually end up falling and narrowly able to kill Crazy Eyes to deny that cap. And then here, of course, there was the 4-man wipe for Team Ballamos on offense, but they've held a good defense here. They played this one very well in the end. The Guardian Druid, I think we coupled it out. You know, in the second series it didn't look so hard, but here, both Crazy Eyes and Ballamos, to be honest, both of them have had good showings on that class. We can see its place in the meta. Slightly different playstyle to the Vengeance Demon Hunter, of course, since they don't kite across the entire map in an instant, but very inherently tanky, and they will end up picking up this first game. Team Ballamos with the 1-0 victory.
So, Team Ballamos wins, but I think all of us are here surprised because that was much closer than I anticipated, and I think you guys anticipated as well. Adrian, the first thing first here, we didn't see Vengeance Demon Hunter on either teams, and we predicted that Vengeance Demon Hunter was probably the best tank there. Our Bear Druids, are they better than we first
expect in these fights? You know, we're going for that 5v5 brawl. Ballamos is sitting back. We'll have to see if he does go for that offensive push. Meanwhile, Doc is actually the member defending Lighthouse for making it happen. So both these teams going for slightly different strategies. We could see that one of the big things for both these teams is tracking the rogues. Obviously, in the second series of the day, the previous series, we saw that not both the teams did a great job of tracking the rogues. There was more of them, so it was harder, but it's not easy to do. Doc sitting with that Frost Mage is going to have the pet, so it's going to be slightly harder for teams to ninja on him. But as long as Hello I'm Nice is in the central team fight, Ballamos is able to kind of push in, and he could go for some cheeky plays, maybe ninja caps at Lighthouse.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he decides to do. He does pop Sprint. He was looking like he was trying to start his march over to Lighthouse, but I just think in a one-on-one against a Frost Mage, there's no chance he caps. So I think it's better that instead of Ballamos going for the ninja, he just comes and assists in the team fight, which is what he's likely going to do before they really have a chance to react. Now, all of a sudden, you're in a 6 versus 5 situation. If you can get a quick kill, like if they take down Posty right now, with the surprise pressure of Ballamos coming in, that's going to be huge, especially if both teams are committing to waterworks. So we'll have to see what Ballamos can get done, and what is Doc going to do? Now that Ballamos has revealed himself, I feel like Doc, you should maybe push in and try to at least pressure mine a little bit, because this is looking really scary for making it happen.
Yeah, that was a really nice play from Ballamos, actually. Like you say, he read the situation, he saw Hello I'm Nice revealed himself, So he went in, he did the damage, he got like that one kidney shot for the big damage over onto Posty, helped his team secure the kill and the advantage in the team fight. Now he's just straight back to his base, defending mines. So that was a really nice play coming in from Ballamos there. He doesn't go for anything greedy, you know, he doesn't try to one-on-one Doc, be the playmaker. He just goes for the clean, calculated play, helps his team get the advantage. Now they have 2 kills in the central team fight. They should be able to clean that up. Taxi, looks like he might be taking a taxi home momentarily here, getting Star Surge to the face, ends up falling. And this should be a 2-to-1 base advantage when they clean up here. And I think a big part of it is, like you say, it's off that clean play from Ballamos. If he hadn't come in there, that would have probably been a more extended team fight, but he gave his team the advantage, and now they have, you know, the lead in the game.
Ooh, we can see Hello, I'm Nice, and Doc, they're going to be moving in. Ballamos. I'm curious to see how he defends. He gets a sap on the Rogue. Doc trying to cap. Ballamos looking to deny. If he can deny these two, this offense, it's going to be huge. It's the sap on the Mage. So far, things are looking good, and now with Loxatar back in action, defending, Ballamos has completely done his job, and there is going to be no ninja cap here for making it happen. Nice plays.
Yeah, Ballamos really clean there. Didn't even have to reveal himself from stealth for the majority of that ninja cap. He got the sap onto Hello, I'm Nice, which I think in the Rogue v Vogue is fair to say that's one of the bigger outplays you can land. Then he sapped Doc, still in stealth, Blind still in stealth. Didn't even need to reveal himself in that 2v1. So excellent plays from Ballamos, showing his veteran status. There's a reason the team is named after him. There's a reason that we read that paragraph from him earlier today, and they will be able to clean it up. They have that 2-to-1 base advantage, and as soon as Waterworks is done capping, which should be in a couple of seconds here, the point tally is going to start favoring them, and the onus is really on making it happen to make something happen here at this point. It's not going to be easy for them because, I mean, they do have the Rogue, the Mage, and the Druid, so they can go for some ninjas, but I feel like because there's one Rogue, they just need to, Ballamos' team just always need to track, you know, like, is the Rogue showing himself in the central fight? If he's not showing himself in the fight, then they just have one person who's ready to roam. You know, they've got the gateway set up from Burn, so they can skip across the water without having that reduced swimming speed. And it's only going to take them like 10-15 seconds that Ballamos would have to survive on his own. So as long as he does a good job, doesn't get caught out of stealth, it should be very achievable.
Yep, and like you said, Hello, I'm Nice, he hasn't revealed himself in stealth. So Team Ballamos, they're going to be having 2 defenders. They should be able to survive at this team fight, potentially get this kill on Dark Pen, and that would be a huge advantage in the fight. Taxi gets taken down. The offense, from making it happen, gets essentially slaughtered at Waterworks. And now Hello, I'm Nice, he's trying to make something happen, but it just feels too little too late. Ballamos has read the situation. He has a second defender there, and Hello, I'm Nice is really going to have no chance of ninjing this base. And I really feel like so much of this game came down to that first cap. The fact that Team Ballamos, they had someone that could stealth, playing defense, it just opens up a lot of windows of the enemy team. They don't know, is he going to ninja Lighthouse? Is he going to, you know, just sit and defend as long as possible? Is he going to come help in the team fight? Ultimately, he came and helped in the team fight, and having that 65 edge got them the kill they needed, and now has put them in a really good situation.
Yeah, and actually, maybe even going for the third base cap here. We see Seth Curry pushing in over onto Doc. Loxatar also, for a little bit there, was thinking about it, but he sees Hello, I'm Nice and Crazy Eyes are both in offense. He needs to go back and help Ballamos. This actually could be an overextension because it's unlikely that Seth Curry will win the 1v1 against Doc quick enough for them to get the kill, and Ballamos has been left in a 1v2 here because of Loxatar pushing across the map. He's now caught up in a full blind, does have the trinket available, not needing to use it though, because Verini comes back in the nick of time on that Fire Mage, able to deny the cap, clean everything up. But that was a scary moment once again, Ballamos having to come in clutch for his team, surviving that 1v2 ninja cap since Loxatar. I want to say that was a slightly overzealous play from him going for that third base.
Yeah, it was a little bit scary. Seth Curry ultimately going to get taken down. Well, potentially a Lighthouse. He does manage to survive using a Hellstone, and this is good. Seth Curry is putting good pressure on Lighthouse. Taxi has to come back and help Doc, and it's just they're a man down in terms of offense. 2 bases to 1. Seth Curry distracting 2 people, and I think this is a really good plays by him as long as he can stay alive.
Yeah, and Loxatar's actually pushing up to him as well, so Loxatar will be able to provide those heals momentarily, but I think it's fair to say this is nothing more than a distraction, really. Like, even if Seth Curry does survive, and it was a nice little play from him there with the Transcendence trying to get away, but ultimately taken down. All he's really achieved is that he kept Taxi in place. You know, he forced his Trinket, forced his Rendering off, but more importantly, just forced him on the defense rather than helping his team offensively, meaning that, you know, this point tally is going up and up. It's doubling now, 730 points to 350. And as soon as this gets to about 1,000, it's going to become essentially an insurmountable lead where Ballamos' team would actually have to lose all of their bases to lose the lead. And that clock is just ticking away against making it happen. They're already 1-0 down in the series. If they lose this one, they will be dropping to the lower bracket, and we will have that Datacus versus Ballamos show match in the upper later today.
Yeah, and it's basically defaulted to what we saw at the beginning of the game. Ballamos defending, Doc defending, Seth Curry actually peeling off. And this is a really rough situation for this team to be in, because now, unless Doc feels confident 1v1ing Seth Curry, they essentially have to bring a healer back, and those healers don't have the same ability as that Windwalker Monk. So Ballamos really making this team have to come up with difficult decisions in order to win. It just feels like they're getting slightly outclassed on this map. Yeah,
it all really does come down to that one little play, I think, at the start of the game. You know, it was the we see actually. Let's just have a look at this. It looks like they're going for another play. Ballamos is actually pushing in over onto the offense. Maybe they're going for that third base cap. We can see Doc also in offense, right, or in defense right now, trying to stay alive as that Frost Mage. It's really hard to ninja on the Frost Mage because of that water elemental. So they're just going to have to try kill him. They're going through the temporal shield. Doc doesn't use his trinket, actually ends up dying there. They might be able to get this. Seth Curry and Ballamos, the duo, dynamic duo, should be able to pick up the third base here. The smoke bomb will secure it. And I feel like actually, they did manage to lose the other base, though. Hello, I'm nice, were able to get the counter cap. But I honestly, if I were Ballamos' team, I would have probably just been settling for my second base. But they do want to finish this one off. Could be a little bit scary for them.
Yeah, it could be a little bit scary, but think about what happened. Okay, so 2 bases to 1. Now they're in a situation where it's 1 base to none. So Alliance right now, they're getting no points on this map, whereas Ballamos, at least they have 1 node that's going to be ticking up for them. I would say they put themselves in an even better situation making that trade there, just because they are slowly but surely collecting points. But yeah,
sure.
Seth Curry is going to have to defend across the map with Ballamos, and it looks like they are going to be able to do it.
Yeah, it ends up working out really well for them, right? Like, they've got all 3 bases now, so they're going to win.
You think they did it on purpose?
I'm almost like, I don't know, like, if Doc had triggered it, that cheap shot, and, like, you know, been a bit slippery for a few more moments there, and then maybe one of, you know, Taxi got killed in Teamfight at Waterworks. If he'd rezzed, if he'd had a favorable res timer, maybe that could have ended up going bad. But it does end up obviously winning them the game. And now we have, you know, our 4 top teams event. Like, we have the 4 teams that made it into the upper bracket, and then we have our elimination series as well set up.
Ooh. Yeah, definitely a dominating performance there for Team Ballamos. 2-0. Has every single series today been 2-0? I'm pretty sure it has.
Yeah,
it has. SX6 2-0, Nerf Winso, Datacus 2-0, Unrivaled Titans, Ballamos 2-0, making it happen, which is what we just saw. These teams are both implementing more caster-based setups. On the one hand, we have the Shadow Priest and the Destruction Warlock. On the other hand, we have Doc representing the Arcane Mage. Once again, we've seen him like to go after the tank. Just sit on the tank, spam out your Arcane Barrage, spam out Spell Steal, try to harass him as much as possible. Then you have Dark Pen on the Shadow Priest. In terms of rogues, I personally feel like rogues are just so strong on these flag-carrying maps. I would definitely have to give the slight advantage to making it happen compositionally, just because of that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think rogues are just so strong. Like, I was super surprised to see Ballamos' team running without the rogue, since I know Ballamos can play rogue himself, but looks like they rely on him as the Guardian Druid. Maybe the Demon Hunter on the team doesn't actually play Vengeance, so that could be something to watch going into future series for them. But here, making it happen, do have that rogue. They do have the rogue Shadow Priest Mage composition, which, again, we've debated a lot. Like, this Arcane Shadow Priest, like, can it actually work? Can it land kills? It looks okay on paper, but the actual finishing power, we've questioned. We see a good opener from them. Dominator's dropping super low, having to use his Life Cocoon already in this exchange. So a pretty lively start coming in from making it happen here, but the cleave damage from the from the Death Knight, sorry, of Mortality should start to add up pressure. We see the Abomination, like no real kills coming in just yet though, as both teams just kind of crossing the map. Both Druids did a good job of picking up their flags this time around, so both Kronu and Crazy Eyes. But Kronu actually having a rogue to deal with, the rogue Arcane Mage, or sorry, having Doc to deal with right now, the Arcane Mage, who should be able to keep up with him just because of his mobility.
Yeah. The Arcane Mage, every time he uses Arcane Burst, snares his target, also sprints himself up, so makes him very good at chasing down flag carriers. The only downside of the Arcane Mage is your damage is really limited, so although you can keep yourself alive, you can be really annoying snaring up the tank. Probably won't end up killing him, but this is what we've seen from Doc before. He really likes to be that guy that is pushing in the team fight. We have Alita almost falling down. If he goes down, this is not a great situation. One healer falling in a team fight, now it's basically all going to be up to Dominators, which I think he definitely has his work cut out for him, as he's not even with his team. So I think it's likely Mortality, Neffy, and Twisted Spaz will shortly go down, as they don't have a healer, and that's a great opportunity for making it happen to push in and try to get the flag carry down.
Yeah, it's definitely not the ideal start. We're starting to see like the kill potential maybe of the Shadow Priest Rogue. Like Shadow Priest Rogue is a pretty deadly combination, I feel like, on offense. They were able to kill down the Resto Shaman here, and this is the thing that we saw from Dark Pen's team in their series against Ballamos, is that even though Doc is, you know, he's not the most scary person playing that Arcane Mage, he is enough of a threat to warrant one healer going back into defense, and that's normally been the Monk. I think it was the same for Ballamos, that they left the Restoration Shaman alone in offense. And then the Shadow Priest Rogue actually is a pretty potent Resto Shaman killer, right? Because the Rogue is the lockdown, Shadow Priest has the Purge for that Ghost Wolf. And it's been working out well for them so far, so they're able to shut down that offense. Now the real question is, does the Arcane Shadow Priest have enough damage to take down Kronu? Because they have this advantage where they're able to push in to offense. You can see Dark Pen and Doc are able to play aggressively as well as Hello, I'm Nice. But is the damage enough to actually take down this tank in the situation, or is it just going to be a reset where, you know, both teams are even?
Yeah, that really is the question. Do they have the damage? Do they have Capacitors done? But right now, Dominators, he's in a really good position. You can see him positioned up on the ledge right now, far away from crowd control, basically just raining down heals, but so much single target damage, forces out the life cocoon. Lots of crowd control coming in from that Arcane Mage's Shadow Priest and the Rogue, full blind on Alita, no trinket, nice Shadow Step kick, and this is just a beautifully executed offense, but might end up taking down. They do. That was just really clean happen.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of what I thought. Maybe like this might sound like too blunt, but in the series, Datacus versus Unrivaled Titans, I think that was the most one-sided series we've seen today, right? Like Unrivaled Titans, they were rivaled quite, you know, easily actually. And Datacus's team, they were able to advance to 2-0. Now making it happen, have an early lead in this game as well. Making it happen, did put up a good showing against Ballamos's team, and here they. Regardless of what you say about the compositions, I feel like they just have such a big advantage, like whether it's just like more damage or just like better clean execution when it comes to taking down these tanks. Kronu has been really struggling to keep himself alive here. Once again, he's caught out in midfield, getting slowed down by this Arcane Mage and this Assassination Rogue here. He's struggling so much to get what his team needs him to get done, you know, just capping those flags. And he might just end up falling again here in mid-map. It looks like there's no one here to support him, so he's just going to die.
Yeah, that's the problem, is when you're a really mobile tank like that, you also end up kiting your healers. Alita was just caught way far behind on the Restoration Shaman, just getting snared, wasn't able to catch up, and eventually Chrono does fall. We'll have to see where Crazy Eyes is on the map right now. It does manage to get the cap, or actually get the flag and get the cap. So he crossed the map. I didn't even see him grab the flag. He grabbed the flag, got across the entire map, and that is going to be a quick cap up 2-0 on this map. With still 14 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's looking very good for making it happen. Obviously, like we're really happy to see any of these teams competing. This is the first 6v6 tournament that we've held in the year of 2019. It's actually the first 6v6 tournament that's really been held in World of Warcraft for a number of years, right? Like a lot of the footage is coming from that BlizzCon tournament way back in 2015. There's a couple of 2016, I think, as well. But it's definitely been a while. We're excited to be back in the RPGs and happy to have all these teams competing. Excited to show themselves here on the big screen on twitch.tv/GCDTV. It feels great to be back. Kronu, I would love to see these guys. Like, they did have a better map 2 against Datacus. Maybe they can make this Shadow Priest Warlock composition work a little bit better if we head back to Gilneas, which I think could be a likely second map choice from the team. But both these teams are kind of mirroring in a sense. You know, you've got the Shadow Priest, the extra caster, and then the one melee for the lockdown. The composition styles are quite similar, even if the classes are slightly different. And so far, it just seems like, you know, they've met their match. Dark Pen, Doc, and Hello I'm Nice have such good pressure in these games. That beautiful Panda Rogue, love to see it. Love to see the one Panda so far in this tournament. And Kronu has been having a tough time. Doc actually has been impressing me. Like, even though he's, like you say, he doesn't kill people, he is really annoying. Like, he's really frustrating Kronu. He's struggling to get away in a lot of these situations, and in the team fights as well. Dominators is looking like he's going to fall down here. Ooh. Gets caught up in the full counter spell. Nice play. Will secure that kill, and they might even get the third kill right here on the flag carrier. He's caught in mid-map.
Yep, he's getting snared down. Spell steal spam coming in. Doc on containment. There is a lot of utility on the specialization to harass flag carriers. He's been doing a really good job of it so far. You can see Hello I'm Nice, Dark Pen, Doc, all chasing down Chrono. Meanwhile, Crazy Eyes almost into the tunnel. If he can get up there, will be the third cap of the game. This full kidney shot should secure with the smoke bomb, but no, Dominator actually gets in a good position into a full blind. Do they have the follow-up polymorph? Quaking Palm, good crowd control. Lita getting crowd control as well, trying desperately, but Chrono with his defensive cooldowns does manage to weather that storm and stay alive. One thing I don't really like about Unrivaled Titan's composition is they don't have any healing reduction. That's a big problem. I mean, they have the Unholy Death Knight, they have the Shadow Priest, the Destruction Warlock, but they don't have the Mortal Wounds, which I think in it's 6v6 and rated Battleground is just so important for taking down a tank that's getting spam healed.
Yeah, I think that's a very good shout out, actually. Like, especially on these maps, right? Like, as you say, where you have to kill a tank, like, we've seen very few teams killing healers. Like, it doesn't seem like it's a viable strategy to kill the healer with crowd control and the other healer. Every single team has just been, you know, putting whatever minimal CC they have over onto the healers and just tunneling the tank. And without healing reduction effect of any type, like zero healing reduction effect, it's going to be much harder to kill the Guardian Druid, especially since, like, all these tanks actually have a lot of self-healing for themselves, defensive traits, you know, frenzy regeneration in the case of the Guardian Druid. It just makes your task that much harder, you know, 25% harder in most cases. So it's not going to be favorable to them. You see they have a good offense here, a lot of battling happening in Chrono's room. That's not where you want to see it for this team. We actually see Nephi is running Psyfiend, so they have that, like 50%, but I mean, it's got 5 health, and these guys are on top of that. They instantly kill it. And Chrono, once again, he's on the back burner here. If they can get a little bit of crowd control over onto these healers, see polymorphs coming out, then they should be able to secure this one 3-0.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a 1v1 between Crazy Eyes and Mortality can get on top of him. Crazy Eyes right now doesn't really have a healer. They might be able to take him down. Mortality finally going to be pushing down. Chrono does manage to weather that storm. He does survive. Now we have Crazy Eyes sitting on top of the flight cap node. He's going to have to do a good job surviving until one of his healers is going to back him up. You can see him falling. And double interrupt kidney shot, though. Beautiful offensive plays coming in for making it happen. And this could be it for Chrono. They take him down now. That will be an easy 3-0. But off the back of that survival instincts, does manage.
It's going to be really a question of who wins that fight, and then also if either of these teams do get a bit greedy in the opener, go for those orb pickups, because that could give them a few extra points in the short term, but it could also end up, you know, causing vulnerabilities and losing the fight and potentially the map.
Yeah, and it seems like if you fall behind on this map, you just stay really far behind. We saw Oz team really implement split reses, so once you take down one person, you just wait to take down a second. So right as somebody reses, you take someone else down, and then you always find yourself in sort of 5v6 situation where you can stay ahead quite easily. So this initial fight is obviously going to be really important. Dominator knocks Crazy Eyes out of stealth, and just to find some crowd control there. And I'm curious to see which targets we see taken down. I think in the team fight, I would have to give the edge compositionally to Unrivaled Titans, but I think the problem for their composition is they don't really have the burst damage potential to take down flight carriers really quickly later on. But so far, Crazy Eyes has been taking a huge amount of damage.
Yeah, it's been a very strong start actually from this Destruction Warlock Shadow Priest. I think Destruction Warlocks in any situation are incredibly scary during that Infernal Burst, and also the Abomination from the Death Knight. Like, this is a really high damage composition, especially compared to the Arcane Mage on the other side of the map. That said, though, Chrono dropping dangerously low here on that Restoration Druid. The life swap from Nephi keeping him alive. Now kidney shot onto the Shaman. Trinkets coming out left, right, and center. But the first kill, first blood in favor of making it happen here. They are making it happen. It's been a back and forth fight, but with one Shaman down, Void Shift also down, it's looking like Darkpen and his team should be able to run away with this team fight. And like we said, split reses, the orbs. They did actually pick up an orb, but I feel like the wipe here should just be heavily in favor of making it happen. They'll go pick up their own orbs now that they are finishing off this fight, and if they can split the reses, similar to how Oz's team did it, then it's going to be really hard for Unrivaled to recover in this situation.
Yeah, I want to see them just keep Twisted Spaz alive here until someone else reses, but I don't think they're going to do it. Twisted Spaz will ultimately fall. Alita moving in. If they can pick off Alita here, it's going to be huge. He's kind of in midfield with Dominator. Those are the only two, and Hello on Nice moves in. This is the kind of split res tactics we see. Alita gets caught, taken down. They're always going to be in the situation where they are behind on the team fight, so we'll have to see what happens. Alita gets sapped. Dominator now in a 6v1 situation gets immediately deleted, and this is what happens. You just get momentum on this map so quickly. If you can win that first team fight, you basically can dictate the pacing for the rest of the match.
Yeah, and we can see that here. Another pick off potentially here as the Restoration Shaman does go down, and this is exactly it, right? Like they need to just get a full reset. They need to accept the fact, hey, with 2 orbs down, like coming in like this, they're never ever gonna get a single kill. They didn't win the 6v6. They're not gonna win the 3v6 or the 4v6. They're just dying left, right, and center here. They need to regroup, go for another fight. But I mean, the challenge is that there's 2 orbs building up on the side of making it happen. So the more they sit back, the less points they're going to have, the further behind they're going to be. That said, though, if they can set up a 6v6, there's going to be 2 orb carriers on the side of making it happen that will have huge damage increase stacks. So if they can get their Death Note over to them, they'll easily land the kill. So I feel like they could win a 6v6 if they regroup, and it does look like that's what they're playing for right now.
I mean, yeah, it's easy to be tricked into thinking you can push in, take down the flag carrier really, really quickly. Need all against a really organized team, such as making it happen. Now in the 6v6 fight, like you said, there will be an advantage to Unrivaled Titans just because of the fact all that bonus damage from those flight carriers will make them super good targets, but they also deal a little bit of damage. So if they can survive, they can help burst down someone like Alita just got taken down. And now, once again, we see a situation for Unrivaled Titans where they only have 1 healer. It's going to be really easy to bully him and take down the rest of the team. I think for Darkpen, he just needs to hold on. Doc, positioned very far away. Also, doesn't want anyone to chase him down on that Arcane Mage. He's just so slippery, a lot of mobility. And I actually really like what Doc is doing. At first, the Arcane Mage I didn't think was necessarily the best, but he's really using a lot of that utility to keep himself alive.
Yeah, he is doing a good job in these fights, and Darkpen there as well. Actually, he dispersed a Chaos Bolt, but he had so many stacks of the orb that it hit him for about 60% of his health anyway. So that was absolutely incredible. But they completely outpositioned, I think, in this fight. Unrivaled Titans, Twisted Spaz ended up being downstairs, and the whole team just line of sighted him upstairs, and he couldn't get any damage off of his Dark Soul. So very unfortunate situation there for them. Meanwhile, they got the kill onto the Restoration Shaman very early on. So even despite having the orbs, they were able to come out, I would say, even in that team fight. We see Twisted Spaz now. He's going to pick up a flag, try to get some semblance of points for his team. It's actually in the middle of the map right now. They have the life grip. They have a little foothold in the center here. We'll see how long they can hold it, since they are 650 points behind here, Ben.
Ooh, Darkpen might be able to just solo down Twisted Spaz. He has the Siphene ticking on with a Silent Swell. Nephi trying to back him up, but Dog, he has a lot of stacks. He's going to be doing a ton of damage with those. Might be able to sneak a kill on Nephi on Twisted Spaz, but at the expense of his life. Both orbs have been completely reset, but just a very dominating position for making it happen at this point. They're up 5 members opposed to 3, and it's just a matter of time before the rest of these 3 members get wiped up, and the lead starts generating itself even further for making it happen.
Yeah, I mean, make it happen. Like, I think it's fair to say that they're clearly the better team here. You know, like they have more experience. Their composition, I think, is more well-rounded for the map as well. I actually don't mind the Holy Paladin pick. You have the, you know, Devotion Aura, you have the Aura Mastery, you know, you have a few different raid tools. You even run the Shadow Resist Aura, which is probably pretty decent in this matchup. So there's a few different things that you bring, which is not too bad. And then obviously they've just kind of outclassed the team fights here, but I'm happy to see Unrivaled Titans giving it their best. They were able to get some points here on the board. I like the cheeky little play from Twister's Best there. Like, if I'm gonna go down, I'm taking you with me, able to take down Doc. But ultimately, it's been very one-sided. You see, once again, making it happen, looking to make easy work, go through to tomorrow's Sunday broadcast with a victory here. They have 2 orbs once again, sitting in the middle of the map, over halfway there, and looking very, very good.
Yeah, just pretty much a dominating performance here for making it happen. Out of all the first round games we've seen, although they lost, they had the closest games against sort of those tier 1 teams that we saw established, and all those teams that are still up in the upper bracket right now. The teams we'll get to check out after this matchup. But yeah, this game is essentially lost for Unrivaled Titans. There's just such a massive lead. I think it's really interesting on this map how badly things snowball. Like, if you lose that first team fight, you're just in such a difficult situation. I feel like what you have to do is try to back up. Like, the best strategy I can think of is if you lose that initial team fight, you need to regroup as soon as possible. You cannot get staggered. You can't be running in one at a time. You have to win a team fight and try to get control of the map once again. But it's just really difficult, especially when your opponents know what they're doing. They don't commit damage, so you can't actually die. They sort of bait out those split resos. It's really punishing to lose that first fight.
Yeah, it's actually very hard to stop yourself getting staggered too, if that's the other team's goal, right? Like, you know, you've got so many abilities in the game now that like slow you down, such chains of ice. You've got all these abilities that basically grip you around as well, like the Death Grip, the Thunderstorm we saw from Oz in the previous time we saw this. It's like actually really hard to keep yourself alive or to like get away from a stagger. And if you end up losing like 2 minutes, then that's like 500, 600 points, you know, like, and then if you lose that second fight, it's instantly game over. So it's very difficult to get those resets. That's why I really like this map, you know, it's like, it does come. The stronger teams kind of beating down some of the lower teams at the start of this tournament, but this is really a titan matchup here between 2 of North America's very best RBG teams here in the 6v6 format. We'll have to see if Oz on the Elemental Shaman is a good change. I mean, obviously, Elementals, they bring still a fair bit of disruption. The Lightning Lasso, the burst damage can be quite potent, but they now will lose out on that Chains of Ice, which was, you know, that was one of the best things about their defense. You know, Gore and Rook were doing a great job kiting around, utilizing the Vengeance Demon Hunter and Mistweaver Monk mobility alongside Oz on defense. Maybe the Elemental, though, maybe we'll see him go more offensive with his team, go for that kind of 4-man push, or maybe on the flip side, I just want to give a little shout out to Rev right now for crossing that entire team fight in 2 jumps. Excellently done from him. But maybe we'll see Oz on the offense of his team going for that 4-man push, or maybe he will be able to sit back and they're hoping the utility from the Elemental will be sufficient.
So I Love My Dog is actually playing Feral. Seems kind of good. You have really high mobility. You have bleeds to sort of take down the tank. Camel falls, so First Blood does go in favor of SX6 in this matchup, and now they have a nice little 6 versus 5 advantage. Like you kind of talked about, though, Rev, he was able to cross the map quite quickly. If Dingle falls, this is really bad. So 1 healer down now, 4 versus 6. Gore has to pick up the flag, and once he does, he has a big team fight advantage at this point. I think if SX6 decides to pull back, they could easily take down Rev. He's only got 1 healer. You can see Scuba, he's trying desperately to connect to Rev, because if he gets caught alone, he could easily fall.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations where like the opening team fight has gone heavily in favor of you know, SX6, and honestly they made it look like child's play. They won that fight super easily. But Rev, whereas a Guardian Druid might have been caught up there, like you say, Ben, get caught like on his own, killed, he has just popped through the team once again, and now he's back at home base, home turf, with his dead team, who have now resurrected, of course, in their home base. So utilizing that Vengeance Demon Hunter, that is why we expected to see all of these teams running those. It's just because the mobility is so much better than any of the other tanks. And it means that even if they do lose a couple of these team fights here, Rev should be able to stay alive long enough that he'll be able to constantly get back to the spawn of his team. So these advantages with the constant kills onto Camel, which we are seeing from SX6, while they are definitely hindering the offense of the Debbies, they're not helping them secure the first flag just yet. I think we'll need a few more stacks before that can happen.
Yeah, I love my dog's on a solo mission right now, trying to take down. You can see Oz and Rook sort of in hot pursuit, but in stealth. Not exactly sure where I Love My Dog is going to be, trying to position away, trying to reconnect with his team, and he's just sort of running circles around the Alliance stronghold right now in order to reconnect his team. I Love My Dog's really struggling to connect, and as a result, Sven Void Monk has been taken down. And once again, just it seems like all of the team fights are just going heavily in favor of SX6 in this matchup so far, but team fights do matter, but they're not the most important thing. The most important thing is scoring the flag. So we'll have to see how long Rev can hold on. If he can continue to kite around and escape, Dingle's helping him out right now, but you can see rank 1, he's pushing in, trying to finally get something going in terms of offense for SX6.
Yeah, and rank 1 has actually gone back over to the Night Elf. We kind of like the Void Elf pick from him in the first game, but he's playing on a Night Elf rogue now. Maybe that's one of the reasons why he's struggling a little bit more to get the connection over onto Dev, and it does seem like this is the meta, right, Ven? Like, both these teams are running the Vengeance Demon Hunter, but they're also running the Mistweaver Monk, since that is the healer that will be able to keep up and keep this Demon Hunter alive. The Ring of Peace also is like a fantastic tool for locking the door on a lot of these narrow passes on Warsong Gulch, like the tunnel there. Perfectly played by Dingle and Rev. And I mean, it's good for them in the sense that they are losing these team fights. Like, they are getting smashed in the team fights right now constantly. SX6 has been looking great, but this two-man unit of Rev and Dingle have been, matching up against Rook and Gore pretty well, I would say. They've been kiting perfectly, using the Ring of Peace as well, using that Vengeance Demon Hunter mobility well. And even though there's several kills on SX6, like, the advantage will really come when they're able to pin them down, and maybe that's why they did bring Oz on the Elemental, because they're hoping that some of those last foes are actually going to be the tool that enables them to finally connect.
Yeah, percentage-based damage going to be really strong.
Meanwhile,
they're going to be moving in, trying to take down, but they actually do get the cap. Gore gets taken down, and the Rev Demon Hunter manages to survive. That was really done. Like I said, getting team fight kills is really important, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is capping the flag, and the coordinated offense coming in from the Debbies does give them the first point on the board.
Yeah, that was incredibly well done. Like, that was a super early kill, kind of coming out of nowhere there. They managed to catch Gore in the tunnel. He couldn't get away. Took him down very quickly. I actually only saw that from a distance. I didn't quite see like what was the combo they used to land the kill, but incredibly well done from the Debbies. I think it's more than fair to say that was against the run of play too, because every single time they tried to cross the map, kills have been landing onto I Love Dog and Camel especially. It had been a really good start from SX6, but I think Dingle and Rev have had a fantastic showing on this Mistweaver Demon Hunter combo so far. They've looked great just kiting. Like, honestly, they kited 4 people out for a good couple of minutes there, and then finally Gore was caught up and taken down. So flag 1 in favor of Debbies, of course, is 14 minutes still on the scoreboard, and the next flag, even if it were to tie it up, would be in their advantage. So this could still go either way.
That was such a close call. Rank 1 grabbed the flag, tried to... Rev was just millimeters away from taking that flag. That would have been a massive disaster for SX6. Nice play coming in from Rev. And honestly, Rev has really impressed me on his ability to play this Vengeance Demon Hunter. He's doing a great job with his mobility, escaping. Like you said, with Dingle, they're making it really hard for SX6 to really get any offense rolling. And it's forcing SX6 to play sort of more of a turtley game where they have a lot more defenders than people actually going on offense. Oz is just sitting back the whole time, just trying to keep Gore alive. And if they can wipe the offense from the Debbies, that's their opportunity to push in. And they do manage to get the kill over onto Camel. Now, if they can take down I Love My Dog, there's not going to be much of a threat. And that's when I really want to see SX6 try to start getting aggressive and take down Rev. But he's just positioned so far away, it's completely safe.
Yeah, and also, like, the thing about this composition from the Debbies is it looks really weird, right? It's like double Druid Monk as your offense, and it seemed bad when they fight in the team fights. Like, of course that should lose to like Elemental Rogue Fury Warrior. But when it comes to chasing flag carriers, this comp is actually really well drafted. Like, Double Druid has a lot of mobility, they can keep up. The Monk obviously has a lot of mobility, he can keep up. And the rest of Shaman we've seen is like a very good offensive healer because he does a great job of keeping himself alive with the Pack Spirit and the Ghost Wolf. So actually this composition, even though it looks weird and it hasn't been working very well in the team fights, it's drafted very well for chasing a Demon Hunter, I guess. So that's what the Debbys are playing for, and it's been working for them so far. We'll have to see if Oz... I honestly... I'm still kind of questioning in my head why Oz isn't still on the Death Knight. I feel like Chains of Ice would just be such a great tool, you know, range 70% slow, that they could actually maybe catch Dingle and Rev with that, while they don't really have that so much. I mean, the only range tool they have to pin them down is the Lasso. And I mean, any interrupts can come through for Lasso, and it's also just a 4-second stun, right? Like, it's not necessarily as potent as the Chains of Ice, so maybe they have been outdrafted a little bit here.
Magnus has just been trying to get to Rev forever. I mean, this match we saw Magnus and he tanked it. Rev and Dingle are doing a really good job with crowd control. You can see the imprisonment on Magnus. Rev's still going to be continuing to run around, and Rank 1 in stealth, he's been trying to connect, trying to help out Magnus. Finally in range. This is when we're going to start seeing some pressure develop for SX6. Rank 1's here. Cheap shot on Dingle, kidney shot on Rev. Opportunity for them to get aggressive. Nice fear as well. But you can see Dingle still has his trinket. Rev, I believe, still has his cheat death as well. Life Cocoon, I think, will be enough if Rev can survive. But this is really good pressure from SS6.
Yeah, this isn't where you want to be. Rev wants to be kiting, but instead he's having to tank the damage. He does end up getting the Ring of Peace, actually moves him away. Does fall to the combination there from Rank 1, able to actually lock him down, get the kill. Now the question is, can they get the equalizing flag? Rook and Gore are pushing forward. They're so close to the base now. Can anyone stop them? I'm trying to get there on my slow little observer. I can't see if Oz is in range. He's so close. It looks like they should be able to catch this one. Actually, no, the flag does come in. Oz able... who picked it up for them there? I didn't see. It was Camel who was able to pick it up. He just about got there because you can see the Gore was right in the room, ready to cap that one. Now the Thunderstorm, the Ring of Peace, they're using all the tools to keep Camel. He charges through onto Oz. Nice play from here. But he's still low on health. The Earth Shock comes in, the kill. Who's able to pick up the flag? It looks like it was defended, maybe?
Ooh, they picked it up again!
They picked it up again, though.
They managed to keep Gore stuck in stuns. Spen manages to pick up the flag. Will he be able to escape? He's going to be really vulnerable. Caught into a kitty shot. Rook moving in, getting a rising sun kick. They want to take him down. They need to get that flag cap as soon as possible. Well, they actually dropped the flag. Rev picks it up. A beautiful handoff there. And Rev does manage to escape. Can he continue with that mobility? Can he cross the map? Rook in hot pursuit. Oz trying to chase him down as well. For Alice, if he gets a lightning lasso, Rev could easily fall. He trinkets out, trying to kite away from Oz the best he can, trying to connect some heals. That was sick play.
Yeah, the Debbie's really coming in clutch there. I cannot believe they got away with that. Like, Camel got Ring of Peace thunderstormed into the room. He finds the perfect charge, the perfect wild charge onto Oz. And then that 6 swap coming in from Ben, able to give Rev the flag. And actually, Rev is now across the map. He's got away. The mobility from the Elemental and the Fury Warrior. I mean, I never thought I'd see the day where Fury Warrior can't keep up to his target, but... The Adventurous Demon Hunter has crossed the entire map. Dingle is even mounted. That's the only way he can stay in Rev's range. And they've got away with murder here, to be honest. Debbie's able to survive. 9 minutes left on the flag. Now, of course, the stacks are still high. Since we didn't see the complete reset, Gore still had the flag the entire time. But the opportunity to kill Gore is now very much there. And we see him dropping low.
They can take him down easily. I love my dog. And did you manage to connect the flag? Rev, is he going to cap the flag? He's right on top.
I can't believe it,
dude. Point. Like I kind of said earlier, Rev just sees MVP, his kiting, his ability to pick up that flag. That was absolutely insane. And now, SX6, they have their work cut out for them. They're down 0-2 in this matchup. We have 8 minutes left. And Rev and Dingle, they've just been doing work.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Debbies. We didn't see them play yet today. They got a bye in the first round of the tournament, but they have come up with something quite amazing here. This this composition is completely out of left field. Did not expect to be seeing this today. Dingle and Rev have really been making that Demon Hunter Mistweaver work, but I think Camel and Spen at the MVPs there somehow able to keep the flag alive. And now with the 2 flag advantage, of course, 8 minutes left on the timer, teams reset, everything reset. You got to give this one to the Debbies. Suddenly, like, I mean, from the start of the game, like, I want to get a tracker of the kill count at the end of this one, because I think SX6, like, the only deaths they've really had have been on their tank. Like, it's been probably 2 or 3 deaths the entire game, but the Debbies, like, it's honestly, I'm struggling with the words to describe what I'm seeing here, but this is just absolutely phenomenal.
A Rev with another beautiful handoff. Camel dropped it. Rev before anyone could deny. And now they got to be feeling very safe with Rev Demon Hunter sitting with the flag. Gore has the flag as well. He's positioned very far back in his base. This is a great opportunity for SS6. If they can stay on top of Rev, continue this push, continue this assault, they might be able to take him down. But the one thing I see Rev do a really good job of is he pulls up all that mobility. He's not afraid to tank a little damage, and then he'll use both of his leaps to get a far distance away. And that's when the Ring of Peace can be used by Dingle, deny anyone from really chasing him down, and it just makes it a nightmare situation. You can see rank 1, Magnus, and Oz all just stuck in the tunnel behind the Ring of Peace as the Rev and Dingle make a complete getaway.
Yeah, I feel like Dingle and Rev have kind of perfected their kiting pattern on this map. Like, they're using the Ring of Peace, I think, better, it's fair to say, than Rook and Gore so far. Like, they've been, really using that choke. The Ring of Peace has been very well used, and then Rev obviously using the Demon Hunter mobility. It's been great to watch. And I mean, going into map 2, because honestly this is looking like a advantage now for the Debbies. I feel like they're unlikely to throw this one with 6 minutes left on the timer. You got to say that they've got to find some map where Rev and Dingle can't do this, because every other part of this game has been going great for SX6. You know, they've been winning the team fights, they've looked really strong in terms of every other strategy, but they just can't catch Rev. That's the only thing. So maybe on non-flag playing maps, and I think this is the only flag map in the pool, right? We don't have, do we have Twin Peaks?
Yeah, this is the only one.
So maybe there's still the opportunity here. I mean, they're still going for it. They have actually caught Rev here. Maybe they can get a cross kill.
Oh, maybe. Rev's getting a little bit low. Is he going to be able to escape? Leaps away once. Dingle's still there. Rook charging in, gets the paralysis. He's kind of locked down. They can push in, but there's just a heavy defense right now for the Debbies in this matchup. And if they can continue that defense, I think it's unlikely Rev falls down at this point in the game. He's still going to be kiting up the tunnel. It doesn't look like anyone's really able to connect, as he does manage to escape. We look where Gore is positioned right now. He is in his base, actually forced to run. There's a good little offense coming in from Camel as well as Spen. They're putting a lot of pressure on Gore. He's trying to kite away. And in this situation, I could actually easily see Gore fall. He kites back over to Vo. Some he'll start to reconnect, but still just great damage coming in from the Debbies.
Yeah, and look where Dingle set up his Transcendence plot as well. I know you love to look at these things, Twenruki. He's had it set up by the graveyard the entire time, so no matter where they kited, they always knew that they could reconvene at this point. And even though Oz is chasing, you know, he's in hot pursuit range, the Ministry will always be able to catch up to him. And it's just been so well played by both of these players. Rev, once again, he's just like hiding. He's got this pattern. He just does this circle over and over. He is running into Magnus, though, so this could potentially be an issue for Rev. Dingle doesn't like he's quite here. He's been left behind a little bit. Maybe an opening, but he's also quite tanky. Like, they haven't forced any major cooldowns for him, so they have to go through all his cooldowns and kill him, and then kill him again in order to actually win this one. And I just feel like SX6 could have brought a maybe better composition to this, because the only guy that's actually kept up to Rev has been Rook. And Rook is a healer, so Rook's not going to kill him. All he's doing is, like, in-capping him and slowing him down a little bit. Maybe the Windwalker of Spen could be the difference maker if, you know, someone on Oz's team could have brought that to this game.
Yeah, Fury Warrior being kited. Magnus has just been basically abused on this map. Rev tossing him off the side. And it's just been so difficult for SX6 to really get any offense rolling. And at this point, being up 2-0, 3 minutes and 40 seconds left, Rev has essentially done his job. Like, they just need to stall it out as long as possible, and it gets to the point where they won't even have time to cap 2 flags in a row. I just think this defense coming in from the Debbies, super duper solid. Oz finally in a position where they might be able to make something happen. Magnus could get there as well. And this could be the first kill. We do see a Fear, intimidating shout over on a Dingle. Rev getting caught and leaps away, and I think he still has some ability to get away and will ultimately survive unless he gets caught into another stun. But he has his trinket, and he just baited rank 1 off the edge. Luckily, a nice little shadow step gets him back up into the fight. But this is really just a showcase of how strong these Demon Hunters are at carrying the flag.
Yeah, not only that, they're actually looking for the 3-cap right now. The double Druid has finally connected over onto Gore. Big cooldowns from both the Pharaoh and the Moonkin, the low Cyclone. I actually think they might get this kill. They just wait until the stacks get really high, then they go for this kill on Gore, the 2v2. Well played as well, Camel and I Love My Dog. I mean, they also have the same challenge, right? They have to catch a Demon Hunter of their own, and they've just been doing a better job of it so far in this game, narrowly missing out on getting that kill. Spen, though, once again, reconnects over onto Gore. That's what we've been talking about a little bit. These Windwalker monks, or these monks in general, seem to be one of the few classes that can get that reconnection. And combined with the Cyclones, they could get the 3rd cap. I can't believe I'm saying this, but there is a very good chance this just becomes a 3-0 in favor of the Debbies here.
Yeah, it's looking better and better. Gore now caught into a Cyclone. Oh, that's... They could take him down. Rev gets caught into the done. Does decide to trinket out of that, but I think they know. They just have to stall. They could go for the 3-cap, close it out that way, but if Rev can just keep stalling out as long as possible, not really risk it, because if he has to sit on top of the node in order to try to kill the cap when Gore falls, there's an opportunity for him to get taken down. So I kind of like this play where he's playing it really safe. Gore's still just really low. Vo has no mana to really heal him up. This has been a great offense from Camel, sort of chasing him down at this point in the game.
Looking for a wild card for me, the Debbies, at this point. We hadn't seen them play yet. That was their first map, and it's absolutely incredible. Now we get to see this, 6v6 brawl that we've seen time and time again. All these teams probably not going to pick up any flags, just go at each other's throats. And this is going to be really exciting, because both these teams, I think, are bringing excellent comps for it.
Yep, this is going to be all-out battle between these two teams. We are in the upper bracket right now. This is the Debbies versus SX6, map number 2. SX6 is game number 1, so this is their map pick. Really trying to utilize that Fury Warrior on Temple of Kotmogu. We'll have to see what exactly they can get done. I think the Debbies, they did a really good job switching up their composition, and it just shows some of the flexibility that this roster also has.
Yeah, interestingly, it actually looks like Rook's team is opting to take the low ground a little bit. Like, they run into the center, maybe trying to bait Debbies to pick up an orb, but neither of these teams going to go for that. They don't want to give themselves the vulnerability of a target. Magnus is the target at the start of this one, taking a huge, substantial burst damage. They actually force out the Life Cocoon here, which is huge. We've seen time and time again that Life Cocoon is the cooldown that you want to force, because straight after that you can get a kill onto one of the healers. So we'll have to see where I Love My Dog chooses his next target. Those kidney shots, of course, are the big, telling of who is being targeted by both of these teams. We see another kidney shot, though, over onto Magnus. Of course, the Fury Warrior doesn't actually have the defensive stance that an Arms Warrior has, taking a lot of damage. There's the smoke bomb, able to leap out of it just in time. Still low, cross crowd control coming in, trinkets forced, but Magnus survives, and they commit a lot of resources to that kill, Van.
Yeah, they definitely did. Magnus with beautiful cutting does manage to survive. Looks like there's an attempt over onto Camel, but he's in a pretty decent position. Good crowd control. Triple stun going out onto both healers as well as Camel. Camel ultimately survives. Spen just getting bullied right now. Oz on that Elemental Shaman. He's basically made it his job to make sure he's shutting down Spen. His Fire Mage is trying to get out Greater Pyroblast, but Oz, with the grounding, with the Wind Shear, with the Thunderstorm, makes it really difficult for him to get those casts off. So that's something to pay attention to in this team fight.
Yeah, Greater Pyroblast, of course, can just change a game, especially in 6v6. We see the blind onto Dingle, trinket out, forced. Good plays. Camel seems to be the main target of choice here for SX6 at this moment in time. They actually force a Life Cocoon on him, perhaps slightly preemptive there from Dingle. Dingle now no trinket, no Life Cocoon, no trinket on I Love Dog. Opportunities starting to open for SX6 here, but they're still the ones taking the majority of the damage. Magnus without a trinket, Gurk without a trinket. Really, this is like an excellent team fight. Both of these teams, answering each other mano for mano so far in this game. We see another kick coming out over onto the Rook. Kidney shot onto Magnus. Big damage.
Yeah, huge damage. With an interrupt over on Vo, Magnus could fall. He gets caught into another stun. That was a nice attempt on to Spen as well. Spen on this mage has been doing a really good job. He's making sure he lands a polymorph on one healer. He gets a Dragon's Breath on the second healer, lands a counterspell on the next one. So a lot of interrupts, a lot of disruption on that Fire Mage. Although he's not getting up the damage, he is doing a good job limiting the healing of the enemy team. Spen now caught into a full kidney shot. Does manage to escape. Looks like he's the #1 target. He's just been too disruptive. They have to kind of try to shut him down. SX6 has made that their priority in this matchup so far. Rook caught into a full hex. If we look at mana, Dingle and Vo are almost completely tapped. It's going to be up to Scuba and Rook to keep their teams alive shortly.
Yeah, it really is going to come down to that. Like, both of these teams are starting to run on fumes at this point. This has been a really good team fight. Camel dropping low, Darkness from Rev barely keeping him alive, but both the healers are still crowd controlled. Camel could be the first person to fall, and we know how important it is to land this first kill, to win this first team fight. It's been, you know, it's basically one team's this entire map every single time so far today. Spen now, they're swapping damage over onto him. He's already used his Cauterize. There's no Spirit Link available. Full Kidney Shot Trinketed might still end up falling here. Both the healers are ooms. So much pressure coming out of SX6. Now the Fury Warrior comes online with that huge damage. Maledict's flying in now as well. So much pressure from SX6. They land the first kill. They will clean up this fight. And then, if it goes anything based on history, this is really boding well for SX6.
Now you look at points on the board, although it's been a massive big battle. Right now you can see it's only 30-0 out of 1,500 points, but this is when SX6 can start really developing their lead. What they need to do is split Dingle and split Rev. You can see Rev immediately trying to escape. He wants to get back to his team, but if Magnus can keep Dingle locked down, if they can do a split res strategy, which is what they want to try and implement, it's going to be really important. Dingle with the double Chi Torpedo and a Ring of Peace does manage to get away. It's actually really important that he can retreat to his team, and both Rev and Dingle got out of the fight with their lives. 2 orbs have been picked up. Goruk and Rook are going to be the flag or the orb carriers for SX6. And now with those 2 orbs, they're at a massive disadvantage in terms of team fight. This is when we're going to see the Debbies push in and try to start getting some kills themselves. They can potentially start turning the favor of the match in their favor.
Look what Magnus did there. He chased after Dingle and made sure he didn't drink. So Dingle already starts this fight with 50% mana. Excellent play from Magnus. MVP really showing off what that Fury Warrior can do. But like you said, Ben, the double orb is actually a massive disadvantage here for SX6. 2 members that are completely vulnerable. Rook looking like he'll fall immediately here, and they are able to get that one. But this is kind of like the payoff that we talked about, right? Like, they get the reset, they get the kills, and they will win this fight. But it's at the cost of 400 points already. So now it's a question of how they can do the stagger over onto SX6 here. This is really what the Debbies are looking for. They're starting to pick up the orbs already. They've got one. I'd love to see them pick up the second one. Look for that stagger. Magnus, it looks like he should fall here as they get the damage onto him. But who can they actually stagger in this fight? I don't really see any great targets. Vo is caught up in the middle of the map. Maybe they can try stagger him, keep him in the middle. They're not actually going for the second orb just yet. And I mean, maybe they are staggering them kind of well here.
Yeah, I mean, right now you have Magnus down, Rook's caught into a full kidney shot with no trinket. If they can take Rook down, this is a really good situation to be in. Camel finally decides to grab the second orb to start getting some of these points rolling. Right now they are in a massive disadvantage, but I feel like the fact that Rev and Dingle got away from that first team fight is just so massive. Rev actually getting swapped to really, really quickly. They're trying to get a counter kill. Do manage to find it. This is very back and forth for both teams. Rank 1, caught into a stun. He needs to stay alive. Doesn't want to get split res at this point in the match. They need to find the heals on them. They ultimately do manage to do so. And it looks like SX6, they're going to hold off on picking up any orbs just yet. Goruk finally does manage to do that. And now some points will be rolling in their favor. But this is actually really back and forth.
Yeah, SX6 actually stabilized that remarkably well, I thought. They did lose their couple of members who had the orbs immediately, but actually the other 4 members stayed alive for the majority of that fight, and they were even able to get the counter kill on the orb pickups from the Debbies. So incredible team fighting there from SX6, and they've somehow managed to convert this into their advantage. You know, all 6 of their members are alive again. They have the double orb. They're getting the split here. You can see Dingle caught up in the middle of the map in Cyclones. Out of mana. Not able to do anything here. He's trying to kite away, and he will get to Rev, but he's got a drink. You know, they just lost their Shaman as well. This is a huge split here. Already a 400-point advantage on the board for SX6, and I mean, that really should have been the Debbies fight. It really should have been. They had the 2 kills. They weren't able to clean up as quickly as they wanted to. Maybe they put too much emphasis on the split, and now they find themselves at a big disadvantage.
Yeah, massive disadvantage. 716 points to 248 out of 1,500. Really good job. And if they can stay in the midfield with these 2 orbs, they can just keep racking up these points. I love my dog is in a position. He wants to move forward, potentially take down Goruk, but Vo's there to back him up. There's a sap. What are they going to be able to do? Magnus still there right now. SX6 in a great position. Rev moves forward. They want to get the burst kill on Goruk, but they immediately respond with the Iron Bark for that damage reduction. They're trying everything they can to keep him alive, but that orb just forces so much damage on these orb carriers. Ultimately, Magnus falls quite quickly. Goruk falls as well, but that was really nicely done by SX6. They do manage to secure a ton of points. Now it's up to Oz, Rank 1, Vo, Rook. They need to not get split res. They need to try to escape. Are they going to be able to do it is the question.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they don't die late, it's fine. Like, they can even stay fighting if they want, but they have to be very confident that they will not end up dying. We can see both the flags have actually been picked up by the Debbies at this moment in time. Rook gets caught up in a stun. He doesn't actually have trinket for this. If he dies here, this is going to be horrible for the side of SX6. Vo trinkets out. Somehow, some way, they keep him alive. The utility from Oz on the Elemental Shaman paying out dividends. And now, once again, we're in the same situation as last time. The 4 members of SX6 were able to stay in the fight. Magnus and Grok will reconnect here, and there's 2 orbs on the side of the Debbies. Now, Camel taking a lot of damage, and I mean, this is the same as last time, Ben. Like, SX6 do such a good job of surviving as individuals that they can actually get away with this strategy.
Yeah, they have their, basically what happens, like you said, the 4 members do ultimately survive. Rev trying to survive at this particular moment. He's trying to kite away on the Havoc Demon Hunter, but it's really scary. Drops the Darkness, avoiding a lot of this incoming damage. Trying to get healed up as much as possible by Dingle and Scuba, but unfortunately, they're getting crowd controlled just so much. Spiritling Totem drops, and Rev just gets deleted through Spiritling Totem. So much damage going to be available. When you pick up one of those orbs, it's immediately 100% bonus damage, so there's nothing to shake a stick at right now. Oh, that was a huge Dragon's Breath by Spen. He managed to land it on 5 of the members of SX6, but there's just such a big lead here for SX6 at this point in the match. I love my dog trying to take down Rook, trying to take down that flag carrier. This is going to be big because if SX6 can manage to win this game, they'll tie up the series 1-1 and be able to take it to a game 3.
Yeah, and I mean, SX6 have just looked to be the better team fight team. Even in the 4v6 situations, like, I really feel like the Debbies could clean it up a little bit and like focus down, and they should be able to get another kill if because it's quite greedy SX6 to stay in 4v6, you know, like in an arena if it's 2v3 you're expecting those people to die very quickly. I imagine 4v6 should be quite similar, but they've done it twice. They've succeeded in their strategy, and meanwhile, whenever the Debbies get their 2 members killed, it seems like SX6 have no problem finishing them off. Maybe it's a composition thing. The Elemental Shaman provides a ton of single target damage, as does that Assassination Rogue. So maybe it's just the composition favors better single target damage Fury as well. But either way that you look at it, this has been a dominating first map. Both the teams are kind of at a stalemate here, where neither is picking up the flag. All 6 members are currently active in the fight, but with a 600-point lead, SX6 would really have to throw this one.
Yeah, I think that lead is pretty much insurmountable, but not impossible. We'll have to see what happens. Like you said, we're at kind of a stalemate. We've reverted back to the beginning of the match where it is going to be a team fight. Dingle gets caught into a stun and gets exploded. That was a really beautiful setup by SX6. Spen could ultimately fall as well, gets caught into the bash. Cauterize procs. Is he going to be able to escape? No. And that was just so nicely done. Like you said, Adrian, SX6 team fights seem to always go their way. In map number 1, it really came down to Rev, Dingle. Their ability to kite was just so important, but unfortunately on this map, that advantage doesn't seem to mean too much.
Yeah, I'm so happy for these last 2 series of the day. You know, this series and then the whole Ballamos versus Datacus thing. It's going to be so incredible. Like, this is what these RBG tournaments are about, right? Like, the best of the best from NA, best of the best from EU we'll have on Thursday, Friday, so make sure to tune in for that one. I think we start that 3 hours earlier on the days, so be watchful for those games. But I mean, this is the very best, brawling it out here on Temple of Kotmogu. It looks like we will have our first game 3 of the day, assuming SX6 can close this one out, which they should be able to be honest, a team of this caliber. And I mean, looking at the map pool, right, like we have 4 maps since we're running the 6v6 format. Not all the bigger maps have been tuned by the devs, so most likely we're going to have to go to, what are the 2 in the pool? Battle for Gilneas, and what's the other one? I'm forgetting.
Silvershard Mines.
Silvershard Mines. So 2, you know, objective fights. And if it really does come down to these team fights, then I mean, I actually think there's a good chance SX6 could reverse this.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair. Rook, now I know Kitty Shot gets bursted down, but like you said, at this point in the match, it's 1,400 points to 500. We're going to basically have to see the Debbies pick up both orbs if they want to, you know, get back in this game. But unfortunately, that's going to...
Monks, of course, in addition to being able to duel, they're also going to be fantastic at running away from the teamfights if they need to. So we have to see how it plays out.
So it looks like Center Cart is the first one to spawn. Now, that does give a slight positional advantage to the Horde spawning team.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if they decide to implement anyone. Rev does quickly go grab it, and that will be the advantage that they have, being the Horde with the way the cards did spawn. But looks like Lava is immediately taken by the Alliance, and we have a big team fight, which is going to be in favor of SX6, 5 versus 6. But Rev decides to come back to assist the team just a little bit, but doesn't want to give up the center cart just yet.
Yeah, it was actually a very nice spawn, I guess. I don't know if the spawns are actually random or if it's always like that, but definitely working out very well for the Horde side. To Rev as well with the Demon Hunter mobility. Going to have no problem capping that flag and then getting back into the team fight. But in the short amount of time he was away, it does look like the Alliance, Oz's team, were able to get the cap here on the second node. So we could be seeing a 1-for-1 trade, but rank 1 actually ends up going down. First blood this time goes over to the Debbies, because again, another kind of preemptive life cocoon by Rook on himself. Now we see the advantage. Maybe that cart is going to end up going over to the Horde side. It's very, very close right now.
Yeah, this is actually kind of a disaster. I love my Rogue. Needs to be moving forward onto the base if he can. It's all about keeping members outside of that circle, but there's a 6 versus 5 advantage right now on this map.
Look
they
at
might
that
be able to convert the card, but these ring of pieces are just so good at the zone denial. Are they going to be able to convert it? I'm not sure. We'll have to see to actually get it neutral. But the Horde caps over.
Oh my!
This is a disaster for SX6. That's going to be 2 cards to 0.
They sealed the gate there, then. The double ring of peace was perfectly positioned, so the width of the 2 rings denied both, I think it was Rook and someone else. Maybe rank 1 ended up dying, so he couldn't get back in. And they weren't able to get that one, taking a little book out of maybe yourself and Zico's there. Beautiful play coming in from this double monk. And that's what I was wondering in the start, is like Sven and Dingle, there's a lot of like little... all these carts, they go down very narrow paths. So if they can do the double ring of peace toward the end of the cap, maybe they can actually like snare and root people out of it with that combination. And they were able to just about pull through there. The Debbies, obviously they had a slight advantage on the central cap, but on the water cap, or lava, sorry, that was just pure class.
Yeah, that was excellently done. No doubt about it. You can see top right now, as slowly going over the bridge. Zingle gets caught in the team fight into a cheap shot and taken down. This is going heavily in favor of SX6. You can see Alliance also has top, so SX6 could potentially tie up the cards at this point in the game. Camel is breaking off. He's trying to convert that top card and does look like managed to do so. So this isn't the worst spot for Debbies to be in. They have 1 card. SX6 will ultimately get water, I believe. With Oz defending, it's looking likely. We'll have to see what exactly happens up top.
Yeah, the ring of pieces are going to be even more potent in this top bridge since it's so narrow. Camel has managed to recap this, so nice plays once again coming out of the Debbies. And it seems like the more complicated the strategy, and I feel like this is a very complicated strategic map, the better the Debbies seem to be. SX6 have fantastic team fight, and we saw like them getting early kills in a lot of these team fights, but the breakaways, the strategies coming in from the Debbies has looked fantastic here. They will lose the central mine here, so we're going to see the points even out a little bit. It's going to be a case of whether they can continue to win this fight. Camel getting taken down here. OX6 are starting to get momentum in this fight then. Maybe they'll be able to still convert this flag.
Yeah, well, they did convert the top node. We'll have to see the next one that spawns. It is going to be Lava. See who can get there first. Camel will get taken down as well, so it's a little bit of a split res situation, but that means Sven and Camel could ultimately get down to Lava. You can see Dingle trying to position himself there also, and it looks like that's what the Debbies are going to be doing. They're going to be focusing up on Lava once again. SX6, beautiful plays there. Do manage to tie up the carts 2-2 at this point in the game. Scuba could ultimately fall as well. It gets caught in the split res, and really nicely done by SX6. Very high level gameplay, making sure you're waiting to sort of execute and finish off the rest of the team, so they're always in the situation where they're a man down.
Yeah, I wanted to commend the Debbies on that play. They looked like they were first to it. Camel with the nice, quick peel off to get the base, and obviously Ring of Peace coming in once again from the team. But ultimately, it was just brute force from SX6. They were able to cap that in addition to the mid cart, get double, now have a very slight point lead, but really anyone's game at this moment in time. Double Horde favored in the Debbies right now. They have managed to reposition. Actually, the deaths up top kind of gave them a shortcut since they respawned near middle. They were able to get down to Lava faster. They have lost the mid cap, but Lava will cap first. And they do seem to have the upper hand in this team fight right now.
Yep, Oz peels back, manages to cap the middle base. And it looks like rank 1 and Oz I don't know exactly what they're doing at this point. It looks like they really want to defend, but this just gives the Debbie such a massive advantage for capping lava. I guess they just realized that it's lost. They're not going to be able to convert it. They're not going to be able to change it. So they really want to just focus on not losing center at this point. Top cart does spawn. Let's see who can get there first. Looks like Revo on the Demon Hunter should be able to get there. Sven, Revo do manage to convert the top cart to Horde favor, and still Horde has a good lead in this matchup.
Yeah, the fact that lava capped first, I mean, like I said, the reses from Debbie's bringing them to lava actually worked out really well for them, because in order to secure the middle point, it means that SX6 have to commit resources. Meanwhile, lava's already been capped, which means the Debbies can go full in on this top flag right now. There's only 2 flags active, of course, since we're in the 6v6 mode, so they don't have to worry about lava again for a little while here. As we do see kills coming in, full kidney shot over onto I Love My Rogue. Barely gets off the trinket. Life Cocoon, lucky little guy there, and we see I mean, because of that, they actually have a huge lead here now then, because the healers are on the side of Oz's team. Vo is completely out of mana. They have both flags in their favor. They're already even on points. This is just getting better and better for the side of the Debbies.
I have to call out that play. That was such a beautiful setup onto I Love My Dog on the Rogue. Didn't have his trinket, got caught into the kidney shot smoke bomb. It looked like he was instantly going to be taken down, but Rev dashed in, dropped the darkness, kept him alive. That was a really beautiful play. Plays like that, keeping his team a little bit ahead in this matchup so far, but the Alliance are evening out. We do have Horde side top cart. Camel will fall, so Gorek and rank 1 will convert the top node, but now we really need to focus our attention on lava, which seems like at this particular point is still advantaged for the Debbies.
Yeah, Camel has been caught out a couple of times here. I think the SX6 are trying to target him down a little bit in some of these fights. They were able to get an easy kill on him there and secure the top node for themselves. And this game, it's, you know, this is game 3 of the series. This winner of this goes through to tomorrow in the upper finals. Loser will have to, you know, crawl and draw their way through that lower bracket. So you really want to win this one. It's neck and neck on points. Literally not even 20 points between the two teams right now, as we're about halfway through the battle. 1-1 in total of the series. Winner of this map will go through to that upper final. And both the teams posturing for another cap. You know, Lava goes in favor of the Horde, goes in favor of the Debbies, and Alliance will be capping that top flag. Both of them will be respawning at the same time. The game's basically reset here then.
Yep, it's just so evenly fought. Horde gets the cap. Alliance will ultimately get the top cap as well. Now it is all about the sounder node and who can get there first. Rank 1 trying desperately to reconnect. Does manage to get there. If they get this pick on Camel, it's going to be huge. Secure their lead. Will they be able to take him down? Nice solar beam.
Excellent.
Good burst damage. Paralysis on Scuba. And that's going to give a nice little 6 versus 5 lead, which does mean that the Alliance do have that advantage in the center. And it does look like SX6 might be able to pull ahead in this matchup.
It's so scary damage from SX6. Like, every single one of their DPS pumps out insane single targets. The Star Surges, the Earth Shock, obviously a Fury Warrior and Assassination Rogue, and they're looking like they might actually get the full wipe here. Rook does go down in the counter kill, but they get Dingle. They've already got the kill over onto Camel, and now they're starting to take the lead here. They get the central node for the Alliance, and now they're looking for Lava as well. They're looking to press their lead here, though Lava does end up going in favor of the Debbies. They're able to peel off. They have a very mobile composition running both the Demon Hunter and the Moonkin. So they're able to peel off very quickly. That's one of the Debbies' advantages, has been on Warsong Gulch and now here as well. But they're just losing the team fight here. The Spirit Link comes out in the nick of time to stabilize I Love My Rogue. I Love My Dog has got away with low health a couple of times now here.
Yep, you have to be careful though for SX6. They have Oz far away, which means in this team fight, it is a 5 versus 6 situation in favor of the Debbies. What are they going to be able to get done? There's still really good pressure, but you can see Vo, he's completely out of mana at this point. It's unlikely he's going to be able to drink, so he's just healing on fumes. It's really going to be up to Rook to keep his team alive. If they can keep crowd control, they can swap to Rook. Good whatsoever for SX6. I Love My Rogue. He's going to be trying to reposition. We'll have to see if they can get that. SX6 did manage to hold on to water or central node for a long time. Lava just caps much faster, so they're going to be capping at relatively the exact same time. They're going to be pretty much even on score right now. SX6 does have, I think, a 5-point lead.
Oh.
That big of a deal.
It's so close. Each cap is 150 points, and like you say, capping these lava nodes is so good for the Debbies. I think they've got I want to say they've got 3 out of 3. Maybe they've got 2 out of 3 of them, but they have been dominating this side of the map the entire game. And that flag is just a shorter map, so it's a shorter route, sorry. So it'll always cap first. It'll always give them the positioning advantage going back to center whenever the new flag comes up. And once again here, they're starting to take a small lead. They have both the flags right now, so they're racking up minimal points to push ahead here up to a 10-point lead, but it will come down to the flag caps. 150, to do some quick math here, means there's 3 flags that are needed. 450 points for the win. So if they were able to cap 2 here, it would be absolutely insane for them. They were able to get the quick peel off on top, so they have the advantage, but a nice strategic change of the turntable means now that this lava cap is going along a much longer route. This was a nice tactical play, I believe, from SX6, meaning that the Debbies are committing all their resources to this node, but it will take a lot longer to cap. I'd love to see them, and they do manage to peel off and get the top node, which will now cap at about the same time, meaning that if Alliance gets the top node, SX6, and if Lava is captured here by the Debbies, it's going to be so flipping close.
Oh, 2 members are killed off. It's now a 5v5 situation. Rank 1 could easily fall as well. This is very tense for both these teams. Camel trying to cut away, safeguard procs. And you see Rebel just doing tons of damage in this match. Rank 1 caught into the stun. Like you said, the Alliance, they still have the top. That cart is going to eventually cap over. And in this 5v5 situation, if SX6 can win this team fight right here, right now, that's going to be such a massive lead for them. Not only will they cap top, they're also going to be capping the converted lava, which is also going up to the top right-hand corner of the map. But it doesn't look like they're going to be able to land a kill. SX6 in danger right now. Rank 1, once again, gets caught into a stun with interrupt on Rook, and he will fall. And it looks like these teams, once again, very evenly matched. The Horde will cap 1 node. The Alliance will cap 1 node. We have to see where the 2 new nodes do end up spawning.
But I do want to commend SX6 because even though they end up losing this fight, just the fact that they managed to go for that play, swapping the direction of the node, like if you, I don't know if the observers can do it. If they press like M on the map, you can see how much longer the route is that the lava cap has to go. It has to go almost double the distance, which means that now both these teams will at the same time meet up in middle. They'll have an even footing once again. Whereas otherwise, the Debbies would have had a huge lead here getting to that middle cart.
Yeah, it looks like the water cart will spawn, central cart. We'll have to see how that team fight plays out. I love my rogue and Vo are basically caught up in top right now. Vo's trying to ninja, or I love my rogue's trying to ninja, Vo just defending. So we have a 5v5 situation in the midfield. And in these team fights, it's just ultra important. Another node is actually going to be spawning, and that's going to be lava. So we have the central node as well as lava spawning, and we'll have to see where these teams decide to commit their resources. Oz caps over the central node. And lava, once again, they might have to get converted. Dingle gets caught into a kidney shot and bursted down. A beautiful setup. Rev tried to drop the darkness, but it was just too little too late. Dingle will fall, unfortunately. SX6, this is a nice lead for them. If they can manage to get this bottom node, as well as the central node, it's just going to be, it could be the whole game.
Yeah, it really could be. I mean, these teams are so close. It's a 7-point difference right now, and winning a team fight like that is so detrimental. This is the best time you could ever win this fight. 2 caps will win the game for whoever manages to get it. SX6 now control a double node, 150-point value on either of them. Honestly, the points they're racking up passively right now might even mean that 1 node is enough, but an instant reaction from the Debbies. They're able to recap center once again. When they lose the team fights, they have such a mobile composition that they're able to immediately peel off, immediately go capture the less defended node. And these 2 incredibly even teams, still 20 points apart. This could honestly come down to the fact that SX6, with that trade of nodes, now caps lava. Lava caps quicker, like we already said. They were able to flip the turntable points, so they now will get that point. They're going to be so close to this victory. Ooh. If they can get the central point, they could easily win this one.
They need tags. They need to get to the midfield. They have to get control of these nodes as soon as possible. Top, what is it going to be? We see Camel right now and Tractor Daddy. They're going to be fighting it out. Alliance does manage to cap. Oz, beautifully done. So they do manage to get that top node.
Wow.
If they can get that second node that spawns, that's it. It's over. Oh, Oz might be able to sneak in. Oz sneaks in. Alliance has both nodes. Revo trying desperately to get in, but doesn't manage to find it. And now, like you said, with these passive points, as long as they can hold on to these nodes, that's going to be the game.
It's within 40 points. It's absolutely insane here. Game 3, the Debbies take one back. It's so close here. The passive points are ticking. 12 left. They have to commit everything. The Debbies need to stop SX6 here on this lava caps. But they both kind of make sense. Like, you can tell they've both thought about it. They knew what the opposition was going to play, and they've kind of built their comps around it. The one thing that I'm kind of curious about is Burnex playing this Destruction Warlock. I think he might really struggle to keep up with Milk, and that could definitely be something that disadvantages this team.
Yeah, I think there's no question about it. On the other hand, Dean Locke for Team Datacus is going to have to deal with Hamsham, so I don't know how effective he's going to be able to be trying to get off spells, as he's really the only target on the map that can be interrupted. So he's going to have to do a really good job making sure he's faking out a lot of those interrupts and finding opportunities to actually get significant casts off.
Yeah, one thing's for sure is that we are having Datacus against Ballamos here. It's one of those series that if you've been talking about RPGs in NA for the last like 5-6 years, you'll have heard these names constantly battling at the top. Now we have a tournament, a playground for which they can show their stuff, show who's the best. Datacus gets caught up in the polymorph spell by Korlik in this opening team fight, but both the tanks easily just walking through, looking to get the flag caps, and pretty equal playing ground so far.
Yeah, things are relatively even at this point. Ballamos is going to be moving in. Seth Curry trying to pull back a little bit and harass Milkman on that Vengeance Demon Hunter. We'll have to see exactly how Milkman does respond to that. What is Seth Curry going to do? Is he going to commit a lot of his offense here to try to take him down? Looks like the imprisonment should be enough to shut it down. Looks like Milkman will be able to escape, or should be able to escape right now. Ring of Peace does knock him back into Seth Curry, but more than anything, Seth Curry is just being really annoying. If he could manage to sneak in a trinket from Milkman, it would be huge, but I just feel like Milkman is not going to fall for it, so we can kind of turn our attention back over to the team fight. 3 members of defense here for Datacus's team. You have Milkman, Solomon on the Death Knight, just kind of harassing Seth Curry, preventing him from really getting too much done, and then Korlik in order to defend. In the meantime, Ballamos taking a little bit of damage. He's to try to escape this team fight to make sure he doesn't get swapped too badly.
It's kind of interesting, right? Because Ballamos is he's kind of caught in midfield. He definitely has a mana disadvantage in this one. A mobility disadvantage in this one. We see Deanlock dropping incredibly low, actually almost dying there through the life cocoon coming in from Korlik. Cross crowd control over onto both of the healers right now as they look for the kill, but they have managed to stabilize. Ballamos caught up in midfield. Even Milkman's actually pushed in, so we do have for the first time in Warsong Gulch, we have this kind of 6v6. Datacus, though, even on the Guardian Druid, will be very mobile, able to just kind of cut across. Datacus in hot pursuit right now of Ballamos, but Ballamos will be able to get away, get back to his base, and stabilize here. So both teams have achieved that at least. They've got back to their home bases. They will have the standard defense setup, offense setup. I think it'll be interesting to see if Solomon, the Death Knight, be the Chains of Ice. That's kind of like what Oz did in his first series. But if not, then they might be able to tank them out on this Guardian Druid.
Yeah, Seth Curry on a solo mission at this point in the match wants to get some pressure rolling. Ballamos actually caught into a kidney shot. Let's see how much offense they really have committed. He's kind of stuck in the tunnel right now, not taking too much damage. Going to be activating some of his defensive cooldowns in order to survive. Ballamos has been doing a really good job cutting away. Loxitar is with him, as well as Hamsham. But there is a solid offense. You have Dean, you have Bald Venom, as well as Datacus pushing forward. And those 2 DPS are going to start doing increased damage on Ballamos. They can keep up the crowd control on the healers, keep Ballamos locked down in kidney shots. I could see him easily falling, whereas for Milkman, at this point, he's just kiting around. He's avoiding Seth Curry. Korlik's been helping him out, a beautiful Ring of Peace. Basically forces Seth Curry off the edge, and he's got a long walk around until he starts connecting damage on a Milkman again. Yeah, and this is obviously the advantage to Demons. This is why I maybe gave the advantage over to Milk's team. I just feel like the compositionally they're looking great. Deanlock, though, has been taking a fair bit of damage in the offense here. Both the Destruction Warlocks do have to respect each other a lot. Like, 2 Chaos Bolts really can change the game, so to speak. We see Datacus, Ballamos actually taking so much damage, in this situation. Definitely struggling to stay alive, as this is a good offense coming in from Datacus' team here. Yeah, definitely not a bad offense at all. You can see Ballamos' team, they're trying to get the mobility to really connect and get any sort of significant damage going on a Milkman. Dean caught up, and kill, it could potentially fall. this offense would be devastating for the team of Datacus if he ends up falling, but does manage to connect some heals. They can continue their offensive push.
Yeah, it looks like Seth Curry in the meanwhile is dying. Solomon has stayed on defense for the team of Datacus. So we have this kind of like split of 3-3 on Datacus' team where Solomon's sitting back, he's helping Milkman and Korlik, peeling, killing off Seth Curry, or I mean, Seth Curry very, very low on health. Good chance he will end up falling. But the offense of 3 members with Datacus assisting is looking very, very good onto Ballamos. They're getting a lot of pressure for just a 3-man team. We see a little Hibernate snuck in over onto the Restoration, and this 3-man team is causing a lot of pressure.
Definitely a lot of pressure, and like I kind of talked about, those 2 DPS are going to do increased damage on a Ballamos over time. Another kitty shot committed, but you can see the positioning of Hamsham right now. He's in a really good position. Ballamos actually uses his leap over to get up on that Z-axis and escape a lot of the fight. Venoms has to be careful not to overextend. Forced to come back, getting really low. Vernax might be able to take him down. Let's get a few kills from Datacus. Datacus definitely has some work cut up from a beautiful double Shadow Fury. And they do manage to snipe a kill. And now they need to look to try to get aggressive, try to take down Milkman.
Yeah, that was weird. Vernax back in defense, so 2 DPS committing to that. Meanwhile, Seth Curry has been the only player really pushing for the offense. So neither team has really wanted to commit too much, but I feel like the longer this goes on, the better it will be for Datacus' team, because even with 3 members against 5 in that fight, they were able to get work done. You know, they forced a lot of pressure. They almost killed off Ballamos. It dropped to about, 30-20%. And as you say, the more the damage builds up, the harder it will be for the healers like and his Restoration Shaman buddy to keep Ballamos alive. It's just going to become an impossible task at some point. So I'd love to see Ballamos' team. There must be some critical number of stacks where they just go all in on Milkman, try to get it. They do have the kill, they have the trinket down from him, but Ballamos once again is the target of choice.
Yeah, Ballamos going really low there. Had to activate some of his defensives. Hamsham committed his trinket as well. Datacus gets knocked down away. That was good cross shadow control. Quadruple Shadow Fury coming in. Nicely done by Deanlock. Good control. Seth's still kind of on a solo mission, but he could fall here, and that's just crippling the offense of Team Ballamos. And like you said, with the stacks getting higher and higher, it's only a matter of time before Ballamos ends up falling. Hamsham and Loxatar are basically going to have an impossible situation to keep the tank alive, but they've been doing a really good job so far. Both of these Warlocks have mirrored their gateways. You can see the bottom of the map onto sort of that tier 2 ledge, and if you're wondering why they're not going up top, it's because in 6v6 Warsong Gulch, that side is kind of cut off, so there's no way to actually maneuver yourself up top. So this is kind of the Z-axis that they have to play.
Korlik actually came in with a big play there, was able to get a preemptive light cocoon on the stun lock coming in from Seth Curry, able to keep Milk alive. The stacks are also adding up for him, and Milk's not really kiting the same way that we saw some of the other Demon Hunters. He's kind of like rotating in a triangle upstairs, staying in the fight, making sure not to cut away from his healer Korlik. It's been working well, it's just different. He's not utilizing the tunnel just yet, doesn't feel like he has to. Seth Curry now caught up in the kidney shot. Most likely will end up falling from here. It's 2-man offense, looks like. I don't think either of the healers are here, so it's just Seth Curry and Baron trying to get the kill over onto Milk Gang. Seth Curry has been doing an excellent job being slippery, and this is something else we've talked about a little bit, Ben, is that the DPS that are being opted for offense are ones that are very good at keeping themselves alive. So we saw Magnus on the Fury Warrior, now Seth Curry doing a very similar job from the Swindwalker. A lot of mobility, a lot of self-healing, and he's able to just kind of keep the pressure up even without a healer here.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious why Bald Venoms isn't putting more pressure on Baron. Like, as a Fire Mage, you don't have that much defense. I should have a little bit of off healing from Seth Curry, but I feel like he could easily take him down, and that would just essentially cripple the offense. It would be Seth Curry trying to take him down in a 3v1 situation, but it looks like Seth Curry is going to be that main target as Bald Venoms playing defense for his team to keep his flag carrier alive. The positioning from Milkman and Korlik has been really good. Like you said, just utilizing this top part of the map, running around, making sure that gateway is really solid line of sight for them. If you look back where Datacus, or where Ballamos is positioned, he's still just kiting away, and we have 10 minutes. We have less than 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
We're still in a 0-0 situation. Both of these tanks are very vulnerable, but they've just been doing such a good job limiting damage that I'm really anyone could fall.
Surfer actually did a nice little outplay there. He's tackling Jade Lightning, Gold Adventures off of the map, off the rogue, down to the lower tier, so he couldn't get back, and that was a very nice little play. But I really think that this could just come down to a one-cap game, like very easily here. Both these teams seem afraid to commit fully to the offense, both sending like 2, maximum 3 members, and then just playing a very solid defense, you know. Ballamos, I feel like, will be the one that ends up falling first, though, since he can't head away. He has to tank the damage. Eventually, something's got to give for him. Surely the double healer will either need to run out of mana if the pressure can just be sustained, or eventually he'll just like end up dying to raw damage as his stacking debuff does go up and up. He's down to 50% health. He's really struggling to keep himself alive at this moment in time. He's got the full pressure here. Datacus in offense, able to keep his team aggressively. They're not really landing too much crowd control. I feel like Datacus, if you could just maybe do some like dash cycling and go on to Loxatar, that could be an opportunity for them, but they're just trying to win with this PvE kind of strategy, and Ballamos is able to wild charge up top every single time, so maybe Ballamos has kind of built the shield wall, which will actually end up working for his team.
Yeah, this positioning is really good. Varen ends up falling, to really limit the offense from Team Ballamos, and that means Milkman is going to be completely fine. Bald Venoms might actually want to switch gears. If they can commit the rogue offensively, that would be what they need to actually take down Ballamos. Like I said, both of these teams, they seem unwilling to commit their entire offense. This could easily come down to a one-cap game. Seth Curry gets taken down as well. And now I'm really curious to see what Bald Venoms decides to do. Is he going to cross the map? Mounts up. Might be an opportunity. Is he going to just stick with Milkman and defend him as long as possible? I guess we'll have to see.
I wonder if this is a draw and it goes 1-1 in the series, do we get to choose the map? That would be incredibly fun. I'm not actually 100% sure what the rules are on that. I'd have to double check. But either way, that is looking like a real prospect right now. 7 minutes and 30 seconds left on the timer. Both teams have set up this kind of wall defense. Like Milkman is constantly kiting away. He's fine. Ballamos, yes, he can't kite very much, but he can always wild charge up to that second tier. They always keep a shaman up there. And there's no real knocks on the side of Team Datacus. They can't knock either the Shaman or the Restoration Druid downstairs, which means that they don't really have a way of like catching Ballamos.
Ball of Venoms is here. This is the attack that they need, the extra damage. They need to keep Dean alive, but they can keep him alive. Oh, that was such a well-timed kill. Oh, such a well-timed kill for Ballamos there. Now Dean isn't going to be available to help him out. That was right when Bald got there. That would have been the damage that they needed to take Ballamos down. But now, unfortunately, without the Destruction Warlock, I feel like it's unlikely Ballamos does fall. All Venom's being swatted away just a little bit as he jumps down. And looks like Datacus' team, they have to sort of reconvene. There's just too much defense here for the side of Ballamos. They basically brought everyone back. Baron's going to be defending as well, quickly wipe the offense, and I think it's going to be hard for Datacus to keep this offensive push alive.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I think Bald coming into offense is the way that you crack this defense, because Ballamos is constantly just porting upstairs. He has the Shadow Step, he has the stuns, he has the lockdown. He can be the difference maker in this game. So if they can fully commit, you know, maybe Datacus does or doesn't need to be here, that's debatable, but definitely Bald Adventures does, I think, if they are to land a kill here. Bald Adventures and Dean are the people that could potentially do that. Meanwhile, they are potentially leaving themselves exposed. Nate Gang and Korlek are alone in the defense. Seth Curry continues to be annoying in the backline. Trinket's out there trying to get aggressive over onto Milk, but as far as I can see, he's alone here then, so he's in a 1v2 situation. And at the same time, Ballamos dropping solo. It's definitely looking better and better for that team.
Yeah, Ballamos has to Trinket and uses his survival instincts. Without those available, this next kidney shot could be big. Venoms drops out the smoke bomb. Hamsham has to jump down, gets the Spirit Link totem, but Dean is just connecting Chaos Bolt after Chaos Bolt. There's way too much damage. Varen has to peel him away for some greater Power Blast, but Ballamos is just a sitting duck at this point. Another kidney shot connects. If there's any crowd control on Hamsham and Loxatar, you could take him down, but he's just taking so much damage. Finally, leaping up top is going to get topped off. This healer's Loxatar, at least, is almost completely out of mana, which is definitely not the best situation to be in.
That was an incredibly close call, but equally, that was the Infernals from Dean. 3-minute cooldown, so he'll have one more Infernal throughout this game. 5 minutes left on the timer. He was able to get a dangerous Chaos Bolt there, and I feel like now that they've survived that is the ultimate damage. Meanwhile, though, Kidney Shot comes in, Ballamos drops down to 5% health. now stabilizing. I think the Grilling Totem could be available soon for Hamsham. Not sure if he has it up quite.
No, he doesn't.
And there's the Wolf from Ballamos. He must be so low on defensive at this point. Coil coming in. He's so low.
How is he still alive? Hamsham, no trinket. Loxatar, no trinket. Ballamos, no trinket. This is danger time. Ballamos just isn't getting topped off. Do they have the damage?
Bolt dies.
Good position right now. Datacus pushing forward. Venom's ultimate falls, and that is going to really slow down some of that offense. Seth Curry's still trying to get work done, but not really accomplishing too much. City Milkman, he's doing a really good job still just kiting around, avoiding Seth Curry at all costs. Serenity has popped out, and they take him down. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to. And we have 4 minutes left. There's 4 minutes left in this game. With the way it's playing out, I feel like this could easily come down to a 0-0 match.
Yeah, it's looking more and more like it. Like Seth Curry, he had actually managed to call it, which I thought, I was starting to think, sorry, if that is like actually something that might matter, but since they just wiped the offense from Datacus' team...
disaster!
Wait, what happened?
Seth Curry just rolled, he just flying serpent kicked off the high ground, went down to 1 health, and Milkman just killed him. That was a really big misplay by Seth Curry, just killed himself, basically. And I think we kept that.
Yeah. This could just be a draw.
Yeah.
I mean... Ballamos' team, like, I mean, I think they have a big comp disadvantage, but their answer to that seems to just be a very European answer. It's like, well, let's just throw everything at our defense. Seth Curry is literally the only semblance of offense they've had for the last, like, 10 minutes, and they've just had a 5-man defense, which, I mean, when you're trying to kill a tank, and you're 4v5, it seems like it's very difficult. I would love to see, maybe now that they killed Seth Curry, and they have the sap onto him, if they can kill off Seth Curry again in the midfield, which they could potentially look for, he's so far back right now, maybe they can just all in with a 4-man offense. We have one more Infernal push. Infernal should be up in about 30 seconds because it was used at the 5-minute mark, and we saw how scary that was for Ballamos last time. I think this is the last opportunity for Datacus' team to win this, but I really do believe that the best case scenario for Ballamos' team is a draw. Like, it just doesn't look like they have enough in offense, you know, like, there's 3 people sitting in defense right now, Korlik, Milk, and Datacus. They have the double healer, and, I mean, I don't know if it'll be enough. It looks like they are like committing a Warlock to the push now, though. So 2 offense for Ballamos. Double cross CC, though. He's in a lot of trouble. The 3 DPS have connected. This is the Infernal push. Ballamos drops low. The Infernal's now committed. Ballamos leaps up, though. The Infernal should do 0 damage once again here. Just clean play in the defense.
Yeah, very solid defense. The Infernals were dropped out, like you said. There's a big offensive push. Milkman could be in some trouble at this point. Just kind of caught into the bridge. Does have Korlik healing him up. Baron trying to push forward, land some polymorphs. Gets the polymorph on Korlik. Now, if there's any extra damage on Milkman, they might be able to take him down, but it doesn't look like it. Korlik has to reconnect and find some heals. Milkman jumps back. Really excellently done. Good kiting. Ballamos in the meantime, looking like he's going to be fine. Baron trying to connect a full stun, but that's really the only offense that's available. We have 1 minute and 20 seconds left. If Venus falls, it's not going to be a good situation. He's really the only one I feel like can take Ballamos down at this point in the match. Dean's going to get low as well, and it looks like Ballamos is going to be fine. And honestly, it looks like Milkman's going to be fine too.
We're actually going to go to a draw here. I was always wondering what dampening would look like in RPGs, but it turns out it's a Guardian Druid with 2 healers sitting on him and just like camping the ledge. It's just so frustrating for the side of Datacus to try to get that kill. They came so close so many times, but now ball falls. Dean will shortly fall here. I'm pretty sure Loxatar's going to be able to finish him off. That's the offense dead. 40 seconds on the timer. There's no way they will get back to Ballamos. So the last thing we can really look at here is whether Milk will die, but I mean, he's kited perfectly the entire game. He's just going to keep kiting. He's actually going toward the enemy base just to run away from the DPS threat. This could be a dangerous play, since we do have people resurrecting for the side of Ballamos, and what a throw it would be if they actually managed to catch him. But with 20 seconds left on the map, and Milk so far away from everyone, I think it's unlikely. They're actually going for the kill on him here. He's ran really far away from his healers here, Ben, but 9 seconds, 8 seconds. It looks like most likely we will have a 0-0, which is Ballamos' team. However, the flip side of that, of course, is that Datacus' team has 2 druids, 2 rogues. We've seen this composition already, which is very scary in terms of ninja caps. They'll be able to peel off It's going to be incredibly challenging for Ballamos' team, and it will have to be a team effort to track where those rogues and druids are.
Moving your players, it's like moving a chess piece. You got to get it to the right spot for whatever strategy you have decide to go with. Looks like Milkman's going to be a defender as well as Ballamos. We'll have to see if any of them decide to commit off. And Ninja, there's a big mind game here because neither rogue knows exactly what happened. So they can't, like, for example, if Ballamos decides to peel off and he shows his face at Waterworks, he doesn't know if Milkman is just waiting to instantly snap Ninja Cap on him. And on the flip side, Milkman doesn't know, is Ballamos going to help the team fight or is he going to Ninja his base? So bit of a mind game so far. Both these rogues deciding to play very passive, and we move into a 5v5 at Waterworks.
Yeah, it means both the teams also have confidence in their team fight. If one team really thought they had to go for a wildcard strategy, you'd probably see them going for the risky play, but both rogues just kind of sitting back right now. Excellently situated for us, because it means we just get to watch this Waterworks brawl, 5 versus 5. Who is going to come out on top here? Infernals have been popped. I'm not sure if it's both Warlocks. It looks like both Warlocks have popped their Infernals, so they're going to be the ones to watch now. Deanlock and Burn. Fears coming out on both. Counter spells as well, just trying to deny it. The Greater Pyroblast from Vern, he actually gets one over onto Solo Mander there. The Moonkin taking a little bit of damage in the opener here. They have to be very careful because Infernal Chaos Bolt plus Greater Pyroblast, as we know from 3v3, can also be very scary in 6v6.
Yeah, it's a significant amount of damage. I think that's why I really like the Fire Mage paired with the Destruction Warlock, because you might be able to shut down Varen, spamming out the Greater Pyroblast, but that allows Burn to basically get a lot of work done. It makes it really difficult to interrupt both of those really high threat, high priority targets. Varen now positioned in a great spot, getting out Greater Pyroblast, and if he can channel these off, it's going to be absolute devastation for Team Datacus, but they do manage to find the crowd control. Varen now into a kidney shot, Cyclone over on the Burn. They're really slowing down the damage available for Ballamos' team, and see Ballamos defending, Milkman both defending, and I think it could just come down to this team fight, Adrian.
Yeah, that was a race there between Dean and Solomander. Both of them went for the Berserking buff. Dean charged towards it, but Solomander got the wild charge route and then stole it away from him. So Solomander is a big, impactful member on this fight, doing, I believe, 35% increased damage. We see Loxatar going for a drink. Solomander instantly goes over, denies that as fast as he can, but he's out the game. Ver, meanwhile, on that mage, taking a lot of damage. The additional rogue actually does help out a lot in the team fight. So this double rogue composition actually works out kind of well, because Milkman, he's kind of stuck on his base right now, which means they don't have the rogue in the team fight. And Bold Adventures is, or I guess Bold, I call him, is able to help with the lockdown. Solomander, though, caught up in the leg sweep. Seth Curry doing a lot of damage right now. And Solomander, with this Berserking, I mean, yes, he does a bit more damage. He also takes, I think, 15% more damage, if I remember correctly. So he needs to be very careful at this moment in time. Urban Shield Totem comes out. Both these teams, it really is Solomander and Ver who are the two big targets in this one.
Yeah, and it's do or die. If we look at mana, Loxatar is trying to position far away, potentially looking for a drink at this point in the matchup, because this fight could come down to mana. 2 healers, 3 DPS. I feel like ultimately it will be kind of a stall game. These teams are going to have to do a really good job implementing big burst damage at the right time with good crowd control as well. You can shoot out 5 Maledics, which is going to be hard to deal with as well. So a coordinated 5 Maledict assault to really soak up a lot of that healing could be ultra important as well.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the other reasons why the Shamans are really impactful, is because, like you say, Maledict is such a big player, especially in a 5v5 or 6v6 team fight. If these teams can line those up, you know, one after one after one, it's going to be difficult. I guess there's 2 dispels on the healers, so there's a lot of stuff to track for these micro plays. We see ball dropping really low here. Urban Shield Totem comes out, but Chaos Ball connects from Burn. Spirit Link whiffed, and that will be the first kill in the team fight for Ballamos' team. If they can convert this into the base, they will have such a big advantage here.
That's so huge. Ballamos' team gets first blood, Venoms falls. Now we're in a situation where it is 5 versus 4, but there's still 2 healers available. They might be able to stall it. They don't need to win this fight. They need to just not die. If they can just not die, it's going to be beneficial. And actually, at the same time, Milkman is going to be moving forward, potentially looking for a ninja. He realizes that it's likely they lose Waterworks. They need to make a play happen. Almost going to be defending. What is Milkman going to do? Right now, there's no one defending. Actually, Bald Venoms is back defending the Lighthouse. And we have a little bit of a 1v1 here between Ballamos and Milkman. Ballamos finds the sap, doing a great job defending so far, but even though Ballamos' team, they did get the first kill, they're not converting it into a cap. And we have an exactly tied game. You can see both these teams, 236, 237 points. If no one caps Waterworks, we could see a tie.
Don't say it, dude. Don't say it. I can't believe it. But there was actually a really nice strategy there coming in from Datacus' team. They lost Bold Adventures. He was caught, scratching his head a little bit. How did he die at the end of that one? But they immediately reacted. Milkman charged at Ballamos' base, and that forced a little bit of anxiety on the side of Lockhart. He came back a little bit. So the fight basically became a 4v4 temporarily, and now they've been able to kind of set it up again. Milkman is still getting a little bit aggressive here. Actually, Bold Adventures and Milkman are both on the same base here. They're looking for the cap potentially. Milkman's heading back. There's a little bit of uncertainty. Ballamos has done an excellent job. This is actually a 2v1 in terms of rogues here. And Ballamos with the blind. Looks like he's going to have to trinket out one. No, he doesn't have to trinket. Salamander gets back just in time. The Druid gets back just in time to stop that. But that was a 2v1 temporarily, which Ballamos once again survived. We commended on him on that in the previous game, and he was able to do it again.
Yeah, he managed to survive. We have a little bit of a 3v3 skirmish now at Waterworks. Salamander went back to defend Lighthouse. We have Dean, as well as Datacus and Corlick. So it's a double healer Destruction Warlock versus the Mage Lock Shaman for the team of Ballamos. Will they be able to land a kill? They can get crowd control on Datacus. They might be able to take Corlick down. Another Greater Pyroblast land. Big damage, but Corlick does manage to get out of line of sight. He will survive. Seth Curry pushing forward, looking for a potential 1v1 with Milkman at Lighthouse, but Salamander shuts that down. We got the 3v3 going on. Double defenders over at Mine. Teams are all over the place at this point, but with the way this positioning is, I feel like both of these teams are just going to be holding on to their nose. Not too much is going to happen.
I'll tell you what, Elliot, this is like, it may be challenging to play this because you're tracking so much, 3v3, 5v5, like all these teams like moving, like you say, like a chess game, moving the chess piece around, but it's also really difficult to commentate because we're like moving around really slowly with our little flying observers, and we're like trying to catch these teams as they make their moves. They're doing so many like different plays, but they're matching each other really well right now.
Yep. Let's see what gets done. Very in position, very far away. Venoms on that road, goes in stealth, portals back in. Let's see if we can get a kill. Seth Curry, Loxitar, they're moving forward. There's a 3-man defense, so they've actually committed 3 people to defending Lighthouse right now. Ballamos just sitting back as well. And this is not that bad of a situation for Ballamos' team. If they can get the kill here at Waterworks, it's just going to be really difficult with both Corlick. Or actually, it's just Corlick. If they take down Corlick, Datacus isn't there to back him up. They could easily do it. They have the burst down to be a Waterworks cap for Ballamos' team.
Yeah, they're going for the crowd control cap here, actually. The Rogue has got back, though. Bold Venoms, has made it back. You should be able to kind of stall. It's definitely still not a good situation for them to be in, though. The 2 versus 3 here, they need assistance, and they need it quickly if they are to keep hold of Waterworks in this kind of stalemate territory that we have seen so far from these teams, not only in Map 2, but also in Map 1. Of course, the series tied 1 apiece after a draw on Warsong Gulch brought us to this map here. And Bold Venoms is just doing a good job of like playing it very defensively. He might get caught out here. Not sure if he has the Cloak of Shadow. Still not quite able to get the kill. Salamander makes it back. They might be able to stabilize here in this 3v3 situation. Hamsham taking a little bit of damage, but it looks like they might have just about got away with this one.
Yeah, Milkman gets caught into a kidney shot. He was trying some shenanigans over at Mine, but Seth Curry comes back and they should be able to clean him up. He actually gets in his vanish, so Milkman will survive. Gets a blind onto Seth Curry. But that defense is going to be swatted away. Dean defending right now, and we have a big battle once again happening at Waterworks. Baron manages to find some damage. Can they take down Salamander? It's going to be really big. Another Chaos Bolt lands from Burn. It's great damage, but looks like Datacus, Corlick going to be able to heal through it. Milkman gets cleaned up. Now Seth Curry, Ballamos. They might be looking to make an offensive push over on the Lighthouse. Both of them moving slowly over there, and then it would be a 2v2. It would be Deanlock and Milkman defending Lighthouse, but it doesn't look like they're going to commit. Seth Curry's just going to come help the team fight at Waterworks. They really want to try to convert this node.
Yeah, it's like a very difficult one. It was a very precarious situation for Datacus' team. Like, multiple members in multiple parts of the map were dropping low. Milkman ends up dying, and there was an opportunity there maybe for Seth Curry and Ballamos to go for the play over at Lighthouse. They thought about it for a little while, but then Ballamos was, I think he got cold feet a little bit there. He ended up backing out, thought maybe the 2v2 takes too long, maybe someone stealth over takes my base. and now Steph Curry's going to try convert his advantage in a temporary 5v4 situation. But it looks like Milkman's rezzed up. Deanlock's come back to Waterworks. We're back in what I believe, counting heads, looks like a 5v5 situation here. So somehow, through all the chaos, through all the insanity, these two teams are still level pegging 569 points apiece at this moment in time. And I mean, despite all that, no clear advantage that you could say one team is winning here.
Ooh, Ball Venoms peels off. Seth Curry instantly realizing it, and that's just kind of the high-level gameplay from both of these teams. As soon as someone's in stealth, Seth Curry, he's going to defend Ballamos. He doesn't want to leave him in a situation where both Milkman and Ball Venoms are attacking. It's basically an impossible task for Ballamos to have. So Seth Curry with really, really good defense is just going to be sitting back until essentially Ball Venoms reveals himself. And now we're left with a 4v4 Waterworks while Seth Curry defends with Ballamos, while Venom's looking for an offensive push, and Milkman defends Lighthouse. But Seth got delaying this, but I think the Windwalker Monk might actually have the edge in this 1v1, and he could.
From Ballamos, I guess it depends how defensively Milkman wants to play it. Like, you might want to go for it. This is really scary time from Burn. He actually has his Infernals out right now, and I was going to say, I would love to see Seth Curry actually commit to the mid fight here at Waterworks, because Burn had all his offensive cooldowns there. Maybe if they'd had Seth Curry, they could have pushed a kill and tried to push that advantage once again. But it was just one DPS. And I mean, yes, they tanked an Infernal Chaos Bolt. Solomanda almost died, but it's if they'd had a bit of extra damage, I think when they do go for these like big cooldown pushes, it might be worth having everyone there so they can try to get a burst kill. Datacus taking a lot of damage from
he shadow melded.
He was able to stay alive. Close call there for the team.
Yeah, he shadow melded not only a greater power blast, but a huge chaos bolt incoming. It's the only thing that kept him alive, and now kiting away. It's being brought away from the team fight. Seth Curry is there with Ballamos. Looks like Ball Venoms is trying to peel away. Ballamos quickly coming back to defend his node. Doesn't want to allow anyone to capture mine. That would be a complete throw at this point. If we look at the score, we are dead even. Still 691 apiece. Neither one of these teams really giving an inch.
Yeah, but it does look like they're trying to get a little bit aggressive over onto Ballamos' node here. He's able to reconnect on it. That was actually a really scary situation there. We saw the blind going out onto Loxatar. He immediately triggered it out because he thought he was urgently needed as node. We see another Maldek push here over onto Korlik. They're looking for the kill on him. Not quite able to land it though. Another close call for the Restoration Shaman. He's very low on cooldowns at this moment in time, getting spam purged by Hamsham as they're looking to convert this one. Both teams, though, even now Infernals from Deanlock, so Waterworks might be the moment to look at right now. But the teamfight composition from Datacus' team, like I said in the pregame, I'm not sure it's as scary as the one coming out of Ballamos, because yes, the Destruction Warlock is scary, but he's the only real threat. Meanwhile, Burn is getting a lot of damage over onto Korlik, almost kills him, forced him to line of sight behind the pillar, trade out his Irvin Shield Totem for him alone. Deanlock getting counterspelled constantly. They're shutting down these Infernal Bolts as much as they can. They respect the damage from Deanlock, and they've been doing a good job defensively. And meanwhile, both the teams kind of not really going for big plays. We see Milkman just kind of sitting back at his node, Ballamos doing the same. Nova Rogue really going for anything right now, and the focus really is at Water.
Yeah, it is at Waterworks, but you can see Seth Curry is actually peeled off once again, looking for that 1v1 with Milkman. We'll have to see how that pans out. I gotta give a big shout out to Korlik. He's been using this big house essentially as a giant pillar, keeping himself alive, but a big swap over on a Salamander with a polymorph onto Korlik. Korlik's actually completely tapped on mana. There's no backup. Datacus crosses the map. He's trying to defend Milkman a little bit at Lighthouse. They don't want to lose that node, but as a result, Korlik's just caught in crowd control, and this team fight is heavily going in favor of Team Ballamos. They need to hold on. Venom's taking damage. Korlik low. Completely tapped on mana. Salamander low as well. Seth Curry caught in the blind. They are going to be able to defend the Lighthouse quite easily from Seth Curry with both Datacus and Milkman, but Seth Curry pulling away. He brings a healer with him, and that's a very important thing to do. You only have two healers. If you can force one to defend, then all of a sudden you're in the situation where you have Korlik with no trinket, caught in a polymorph. There's no heals going out at Waterworks for their team.
Yeah, and you might actually see the kill here coming onto board Venoms. He gets caught once again. And I mean, neither of these teams really have given an inch, but it's definitely been Ballamos' team that's been scarier. We'll have to see how they respond to that death. Datacus and Milkman are actually both at mines right now. Datacus has to come back as fast as he can because currently his entire team is wiping at Waterworks. We might finally have the cap here. Hamsham is in the process of getting it. Moonfire's coming in as Solomander is one of the last members alive. Korlik and Solomander are the last two people here. Datacus coming up in the back lines. You can see him. Solomander, if he dies here, it will be just healers remaining. He does end up going down, so just Korlik and Datacus remain. Are they going to go for crowd control? Are they going to go for the kill? It looks like they're going for crowd control. They've landed it here. Cyclone, Polymorph, Hamsham,
they're gonna get it!
They do get it, and finally, it will be Ballamos' team that take first kind of advantage in this game. And now it really does come down to how good is the ninja potential from this double rogue, double druid composition, because it does seem to have a slight disadvantage in the team fight, but I mean, the ninja potential is really there.
Yeah, you can see immediately Seth Curry, Loxatar, they are going back to help Ballamos defend. They don't want to leave any defender alone at this point in the game. They have such a massive lead. Once they convert that point, even just getting an extra 1 point is going to be so huge. That breaks the tie. Currently 907 points apiece. And now it really is up to Team Datacus. What are they going to do? They have to try to make some sort of risky play here, but I just feel like with what a solid defense Ballamos' team has had so far, it's going to be almost impossible for them to cap.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused. Like, I'm wondering if I missed Datacus dying in that teamfight at Waterworks, because honestly, like, the 2 healer versus 2 healer seemed like the staple to how these two teams were playing.
He came back to defend.
Yeah, but why did he leave in the first place? That's why I'm wondering. Like,
well, Seth Curry was a threatening lighthouse, and I guess he wasn't confident in Milkman's 1v1 capability on Seth, so they decided to send a healer back, which I think is a big mistake, because...
Yeah. That's what I think too. Like, they ended up wiping as soon as they sent him back. Like, Korlik was out of mana. We already called that out. Like, Korlik had no mana left. Datacus was basically the person. He was the person keeping them alive. So as soon as he went back, things have just gone pear-shaped. But anyways, that's the situation we're in now. Datacus' team find themselves at a 1-2 base. The game has already been going so long in this neck-and-neck series that the points are just racking up. Already a 100-point advantage surmounting on the side of Ballamos. They just have to defend this. You see smoke bombs coming out. Double smoke bomb as they look for the kill. But Seth Curry, the double leg sweep, it looks like the peeling is coming in. They're really looking to try force the issue here at Lighthouse, but at Mines, but I just don't know if it's going to happen here.
These teams are very evenly matched, but ultimately Ballamos, they managed to pull ahead with that cap, and things are looking really good for them. They have a 4-man solid defense at Mine, and they have Varen and Burn just going to be defending. Korlik, one of the healers, sitting back. They need the extra offense, so instead of having a DPS defend, they're having one of their healers, and basically it's a solo mission. But it looks like Team Datacus, they're actually going to be opting to leave out of the game, and that's going to be a win for Ballamos.
Yeah.